So we are live here at Rogers Center. Thank you so much for everyone coming to the Game Changer. This is the last of a 5-series event. Who has been here before? Sweet. Wasn't expecting that. Me too. So the reason we hold these events, and that first of all, Jason, his crew, and Digital Leadership Solutions holds the events, is to help the community grow. We brought in some amazing speakers over this season, some world-class speakers in the automotive and non-automotive field. So before we get started, I just want to thank Jason and his team and DDS for putting on these events. Everyone give a whole big round of applause for the guys. And thank you for Jason for putting up with me. He's had to do some horrible things. Today is going to be a fun day. We have the Car Biz Done Better gentleman, Sean Welsh, all the way from Wisconsin. Go Packers. Go Packers. And he had some delays getting here, lost luggage, had to go shopping. So we're thankful he got here in one piece. We have Andrew Lemoine all the way from Ottawa and his crew. Thank you very much. And of course we have the man himself, Jason Harris. If you don't know who I am, thank you. Yep. Lemoine Orange. You haven't seen the orange car outside. That is his. And of course, my name is JP Ostiguy, and I am your MC and I guess networking aficionado. Yeah, absolutely. It was. So when we get these things started off, I always do a little bit of kind of make me feel uncomfortable. And we're going to go around the room, kind of just want to tell you, stand up, say who you are and what you do. All right? So I know who you are, but stand up.
Name's Sergio, and I'm the founder of Auto Agent. We're a lead management service.
Perfect.
I'm Jesse Perro. I'm the VP of Marketing for Car Loans Canada. We connect consumers with dealerships across Canada.
Perfect.
Josh Glass, I'm the CTO for Car Loans Canada, and we did what you just said.
Aziz Ansari, I'm an actor who's on Parks and Recreation.
Cool.
Brandon Alexander, customer success manager for and you want one. Shout out all sales.
Much needed. Much needed.
Nick Chopra, finance manager, Georgetown Kia.
Perfect. Where do you have the back row now? That's you? That's you?
Thank you, JP. Kimberly Black, founder of Intro by Video. I help people create video introductions for LinkedIn to connect with clients, employers, car business people, and I used to sell cars.
Nice.
I think I'm in the wrong room. I just came to the 3 water.
Perfect. Well, we already know who that gentleman is, the beautiful man right there.
And there was one guy, CEO of Car Loans Canada, happy to be here, excited.
All right, this side.
Sales manager, covered Nissan, and we've got a great group, covered and covered Nissan, sorry.
Perfect.
Alex Grado, sales manager at St. Patrick's Mazda.
Sweet.
Jason Drew, Car Loans Canada, Director of Operations, and we do whatever it takes.
Nice, I like that. That's.
Justin Williams, Creative Director for Car Loans Canada.
And you thought you got away from it all, right? Guys back here, if you know who Jason is?
Hey, that's Jason. Sean Welsh, Car Biz Done Better CEO. Just happy to be here and first time up in Toronto, so I'm excited.
Woo! Perfect. And?
I'm Stephanie Welsh, Sean's wife.
And the brains behind the organization.
She handles all the money. She's the most important trigger.
There you go. So, just the most commonly asked question is, what happened to the pane of glass here? For those of you who have been here before, there was one ding down there. Well, funny enough, what happened? Months later, after that one player hit it into that pane, months later, the same player hit it into this plane. Same thing, 2 hits, same player, 3 different months. So that's what it is. The second most asked question is, where are the bathrooms? Very simply, we have Serena Williams' ladies' bathroom right here, and on the other side we have the men's bathroom. All right? And if you look along the line, you can see the most popular Toronto Canadian players that have ever existed in multiple sports, and Sinclair's holding Gordie Howe's bumper. So if you look at that right there, you can see. So men's, women's bathrooms, and please help yourself to the alcohol and refreshments that you have tickets for. If you run out of tickets, talk to Jason. I'm not doing that at all. For those who have heard me speak before, you guys know I love video, and know I love networking, and we're going to talk a little bit about both. For who here, besides Andrew and his crew, heavily uses networking to advance their career? There you go. And let me ask you, the most problematic part of it is what?
Networking?
Yeah.
Maybe finding events to go to?
Finding events to go to. And why would that be? You're trying to find events, you can go to the ones that are business card Santas.
Yeah, right.
You know, like
right.
Santa swoops in, you get a business card in your hand, you don't know how it got there, and they're off to the next networking event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, networking accounts for 85% of all jobs filled. So, if you're not happy and you're an employer here, there's opportunity. But what I'm saying, I'm kidding. Don't quit your job. We'll talk later. The biggest thing is networking is a powerful resource that only a small portion of the people tap. If you've gone to networking events or held networking events before, you have a lot of people looking like they're lost in the Sahara, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. This is what I do for a living, and here's my card. Let me download on you for half an hour. When you're networking, please be a listener more than a talker. It's really important because no one likes to be told what business it is. It's a lot easier to do business with someone that you like, trust, and respect versus someone that sells you an idea, right? So who's ever been to a networking event that literally just had to sit in front of someone and like, God, I wish this was over. Yeah? Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, like, oh, that's great. Yeah, your kid's so cute. I get it. Yeah, that's awesome. So you have to make sure that you pick the right networking events. Reach out to the owners or the marketers or the president of the networking event. Find out what's going to go on. Find out who's going to be there. And find out what's going to take place and what you can expect. If they don't get back to you, there's the networking event. That's what it's going to be, right? So take that into account. With automotive networking and everything we do, it's really important that you put yourself out there. Worst that can happen is nothing. Just put yourself out there. I won't go into too much detail. I don't want to rob some thunder from the presentation coming up. But also, who's on LinkedIn? Everyone, hopefully, everyone. So when you're on your LinkedIn accounts, a lot of people have great LinkedIn accounts and you're all-stars, and that's awesome. LinkedIn is a great resource among many to grow, learn, and build your business. How many people have, if you all pull out your phones right now. Everyone pull out their phones right now. Go to your LinkedIn account and log in. Put your phone up when you've logged into your account and you're on your own page. So put your phone up and, okay. So when you've done that, when you're on your own profile, scroll to the bottom of your profile.
What do you know? Another Jason Harris video.
You can pay me later for the plug. I thought it was all print. So at the bottom, are you seeing people also viewed? No? You've turned that off. So what happens on a desktop, that's right beside your picture and your profile, right? Why is that a problem? Yeah, so here's the statistics. People in your line of work are displayed and advertised against your profile right beside you. So if you're a potential employer, a customer, someone else can look at your profile and go, oh, look, click. What are the percentages that the people come back to your profile after they leave? 1%, right? And it's just because they hit the back button by mistake. In your privacy setting, takes that off. People also viewed, remove it, all right? it's really important to do that because you're advertising for your competition, right? And it's free, and LinkedIn has it. They just hide it back in the privacy like several lines down. If you need help later, I can show you how to do it, right? Really important. Who here sends videos outside of Kimberley to their customers directly to communicate? Put their hands up, okay? And let me ask you guys, at the back, what value does that have? Tremendous. Could you elaborate?
Billions.
Billions, yeah. So when we can't be in front of someone personally, we can write them a letter, we can send them an email, we can pick up the phone and call. Outside of being in person, outside of video conference calling, we can watch them pick their nose so they don't realize the camera's on. Sending a personalized video with a personalized message is the most impactful way that you can get your point across, your personality across, your passion across to somebody, right? I implore you, if you're not doing it, you've got to try. You're going to screw it up. That's okay. That's what the learning curve is. But if you're not, and please, when you're looking at the camera, don't look at yourself. Like, you're like, oh, I'm talking to, hey, how are you doing? It's great, yeah. You have to make sure, put Post-it notes over the screen, turn the phone around, and talk through the camera. Don't talk around it. You know, it's like watching a walk-around video where the guy's holding the phone down here and it's on backwards, and I'm watching a 9-foot-tall belt buckle walk around and talk and heavy breathe. Not the most comfortable thing in the world for me. So make sure you talk personally, no sales, communicate, connect. That's what videos do, right? Look into the camera like they're looking into their eyes and talk to them. Keep it less than a minute long. Because unless there's explosions or nudity, I'm not interested, right? A minute and 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds that goes over a minute with a video, just to let you know, drops your audience by 20%. So in a personalized video, if there's nothing that I can really connect to emotionally, you've lost me, right? So keep that in mind. Now, we're going to have some fun, right? Who has an iPhone? Raise their hand. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but half the room. An Android, I guess the rest of you, unless you have a LG or something, right? I don't even know what that is. But so, who has used a dating app in the last 5 years? 5 years. Okay, yeah. Now, have you had an iPhone and an Android phone in that time? Or just an iPhone? And how has that experience been? Seamless? Outside of being swipe left? I'm never picked for love. You know, yeah, I get that. Why? Because iPhone developed a platform specifically for this app. When you're working with customers, learn what profile they're in, platform they're on. So you can communicate on a level that they understand in a way that they can understand. A lot of apps won't work on Android that are on iPhone. So if you're communicating on an app or a product that can't communicate, you're dropping your entire at least half the room of communication skills, right? Cool. Well, we're going to get underway. And our first speaker is Andrew Lemoine. He, again, from Ottawa. I'm very honored to have him come up from my hometown, from Barhaven area in Ottawa, by the barley mow where I used to bounce many, many, many years ago. Not cool. It was like bouncing in an old rock bar. Andrew is the CEO of Car Loans Canada. He's very innovative when it comes to technology and also communication. Being a younger guy and passionate about communication, it's important that we understand that and have him here. He is an innovator in his field. It's going to be a lot of fun watching his presentation because we had to use we kind of had to screw it up on him. We had a computer, now it's on an iPad, so please forgive us. But let's give a huge Toronto welcome to Andrew Lemoine and his crew.
You'll watch me struggle with the iPad. This is cool. This is unbelievable. I think this is one of the sweetest events I've ever been to. I struggle with this HDMI to Thunderbolt connector. I don't know if anybody else has ever been through this. Like, I'm going to go buy 5 of these things and just stuff them in every bag I own. Because we showed up, Jason thought he grabbed the HDMI to Thunderbolt connector for the Mac, and then it was a USB-C, because Apple loves to do that. They like to innovate and make us spend more money. Gary Vee says, I'm in the business of always trying to put myself out of business. 5 years ago, I had no idea what that meant, okay? There's a pretty diverse room. It's not all dealers. So whatever industry you're in, whatever your business is, I'd like you guys to think of a competitor, a product that if it were to come out to market, it would seriously disrupt your business. Okay, so whatever it is you do, I want you to think of a product that if it were to come out to market, it would seriously disrupt and scare the shit out of your business. Now, whatever that was, dude, this thing's just playing. I'm done. Now, whatever it was that you guys just thought of, now I want you to think that how could you actually build something like that and create it, whatever it is that you just thought of that scares the shit out of you, okay, that could disrupt your business. Because if you don't, one of your competitors will. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is strategic innovation, okay? Yeah, Mark Cuban says you got to work like there's somebody out there working 24 hours a day to take it all away from you, because there is. Some of the most amazing companies in the world are built on the foundation of innovation. That's all they do, okay? It's built into the foundation of the culture of the company. We're going to get into that in a little bit. I want to talk about how you guys can strategically innovate in your dealership or in your company, whatever your business may be. My goal today is not to talk about process. It's not to talk about demo drives or ups or sales process. We have an incredible speaker that flew all the way in from the USA to talk to you guys about process and how technology will not fix a broken-ass process, which I 100% agree with. My goal today is to try to shift your mindset a bit, get you guys thinking a little differently about innovation and how to approach it. Okay, it goes in a lot of what JP was already talking about. It was funny because he kind of recited to me half my pitch before we even got started, and it was totally he had no idea. He was just talking about, why don't more dealers do this? And I said, it's exactly what I want to talk about today. I'm going to share with you kind of my story on where I really got a big eye-opener and woken up to how important innovation really, really is. The neat part is I don't care what kind of dealer you are. I don't care if you're a used car dealer, if you're a new car dealer, if you're big, if you're small. In this digital age today, in this digital world, innovation is open to anybody. Anybody can make a go at it. This is so funny, man. I'm usually making fun of the people that are up there clicking. So a little bit about me. I'm not going to get into too much of this. Look, I got it. It's this because it's about you guys. I got in the car business in 2004. Okay, I spent over a decade in automotive retail. Started off as a detailer, worked my way up to general manager. Okay, I did most roles and positions in between. 4 years ago, I left retail and I started a company. I also didn't have any gray hair when I did that. It was quite the learning curve. Okay, so I started. I had this brilliant idea that I was going to get into the insurance business. Okay, I was going to create an aftermarket warranty product to serve independent dealers because I said this is really underserviced, and there needs to be a killer, kick-ass extended warranty to serve independents. Anyways, that didn't work out. Spent a year spinning my wheels with that, working with insurance companies. That didn't work. Then we pivoted to training. Okay, so I started doing training. Training was okay for what we were really looking to accomplish. It wasn't scalable enough, and it was really, really difficult to find people that were capable of training, just like I'm sure you guys all experience every day how hard it is to actually find great salespeople, great coaches, great managers, right? So we could all relate to that. So I pivoted again, and we really started to get into technology. Okay, so what I did is we actually acquired a company 2 years ago now called Car Loans Canada. And if you guys think dealerships are competitive, try to start a lead gen company, okay? This is one of the most saturated competitive markets in marketing, period. Like, you talk to Jason, he'll tell you like auto finance keywords, just like in general. I mean, against everything, These are some of the most expensive keywords out there. It's some of the most expensive stuff to market. Okay, so look, we found out real quick, like everybody, like, you know, the sunshine wore off real fast. We acquired the company. We were going to make this big mark. We were going to blow this thing up overnight, and we got shit kicked. Okay, when we went out to market, when we went out to marketing, like when we started executing our paid ad, okay, we got slaughtered. We thought we knew what we were doing. We had no idea what we were doing. Okay, we were trying to generate applications and leads at CPAs under $40. We had months where we had $500, $600 CPAs. So we had no idea what we were doing. I also realized that we're going up against everybody. So we're going up against dealers on their paid ad. We're going up against OEs. We're going up against banks. So we're going up against all these giants, okay? And we needed to do something. We needed to do something quick, or that venture was not going to start working out the way we had hoped that it would. You know, what ended up happening was, sorry, this thing is just glitching out on me here. We went from 3 employees with that business to 20 in less than a year. We grew the business 850% in its first year. Okay, and we did that because we realized the only way to actually win is to innovate. You see, we couldn't play by the rules of the game that existed because we would have lost. We actually had to change the rules, right? We had to approach it all differently to the point where we actually don't even consider ourselves a lead gen company. Many dealers today still do until they see what's coming. We made a pivot about a year ago. We said, no, we're a technology company. Okay, because the only way we're actually going to impact this space and this industry and do what we've set out to do with auto finance is through innovation. Okay, we cannot take these guys on head dollar for dollar and paid ad. Okay, and even if we could, it's actually a stupid strategy. And it's not yielding a great experience for the customers. It's not, which is in turn not yielding a great experience for the dealers. Everybody's paying for a bunch of clickbait crap. Conversion rates are at an all-time low. So this is not what we want to do. Like, we don't want to be in this business of selling these leads that have a 5% conversion. Okay, we're not here to be like the other guys. We're here to change the game. Right? So we've been, sorry, that's all I can do is laugh. Like, this is nuts. I know. Harris gave me the 30-second rundown. So look, so we started to strategically innovate, and I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm saying we, not I. Okay, because the goal is not to have one person in your business or your company that innovates. It's to have a company that innovates, a team that's always thinking of innovation constantly. How can we make the experience better for the customer, right? How can we make our process, our product better, right? And this is happening in groups. So as a team, we pulled 911. We are like, look, we need to start innovating, okay? And we made the decision that we're actually going to be a fintech company. So, sorry, guys.
Checking your Facebook?
Yeah, text messages, LinkedIn, actually. Yeah, so anyone and everyone on your team should be encouraged to innovate, okay? What's going on? Oh, it works there too, okay. Thanks for telling me. So I want to get you guys in the habit of getting everybody in your dealership or in your business to start thinking about innovation. Okay, and I want to talk about 5 strategies that you can do to really make that happen and just really breed an innovative culture inside of your business. Okay? Number 1 is get new voices. So what does this mean? You guys got to get around people that have completely different life and professional experiences than you. I find in automotive so many times we have the blinders on. You know, it's just always automotive. We're only connecting and networking with other automotive professionals. We're not venturing out. Hiring, you know, one of the biggest things I see is looking for salespeople, you know, must be OMVIC certified. I see that so many times in the Ontario dealers ads, right? It's like you only want to hire people that have already done it. You're not looking to actually branch out and hire people and bring people in from other industries, because if you were to bring them in, you're actually going to get some new voices around you. And that's going to do is that's actually going to create some new ideas, right? So a personal story I have is back when I was running a sales team at one of the dealerships, we had a really young, high energy sales team. And I was I was making a really good go of hiring inexperienced, just enthusiastic salespeople that had no experience before. Just give them to me hungry, give them to me, you know, I'll hire the attitude and I'll train the skill. I live and die by that, okay? So we had this team of millennials, and you know, at times it was nuts, but we were just crushing it. Like, we were killing it. We were just hitting targets at the park. And one day, I had this middle-aged gentleman walk in and apply for a sales role, and he had never been in automotive before. Did not fit the culture at all. Right away, I'm like, he's totally not going to fit in with the team. This is going to be entertaining. Never spent a day in the auto business. He came from IT, right? So he's doing IT sales for like 25 years. And he was like negative. Like, he was like pessimistic. And I'm like, I don't know why. I like you, you know? And I'm going to give you a shot. I'm going to bring you in. And we brought him in. And this guy became the board leader within like 60 days, okay? And it was one key thing, and it was something that I had never been taught. I had never been trained, okay, as a GSM, that this is an important element of the business that you should be focusing on, which is actually outbound. You see, this gentleman came from an industry where he only got to eat what he killed, okay? He was a hunter. I had a team of people that just knew how to take inbound calls, that knew how to greet the customers walking in the showroom. Nobody was hunting. You know, we were never trained to actually pick up a phone. All of a sudden, I got this IT salesman in here delivering 25 cars a month because the guy is prospecting. And I'm like, what the hell have we been doing? Like, we've been actually missing the boat here. So, you know, he's going through service lists. He's pulling up lease maturity. He's pulling up finance maturities. He's making outbound calls. And this whole light bulb went off in my head about, you know, the whole notion of a BDC center. Is I'm like, this is nuts. Like, we should, like, think of the activity. Think of the people we could actually reach in a day. These skills, by the way, would serve me very, very well many years down the road with our company now. Okay, because it's one of the biggest reasons we've been able to achieve the success as quick as we have is our inside sales team, right? This never would have happened if I actually hadn't taken a risk and brought somebody in from another industry, because we weren't being trained to do that. You know, we were being trained to desk with the Foursquare and you know, do the old school sales process, and that was it, and that's all I was shown. And I only knew what I knew, right? So you got to get new voices. In our business today, we brought Jason in, our director of operations, from the restaurant industry. People said, what are you doing? He's a chef. Jason was the executive corporate chef of the Shore Club restaurants. I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Shore Club. There's one on Bay, and there's one downtown Ottawa. He was the executive corporate chef. I brought him in the company as the director of operations.
Hot dogs for you.
They said, what are you doing? I said, no, I've done this before. I'm going to bring somebody in from another industry. He's going to bring a whole new perspective to the company. Okay? I also knew that kitchens are insane. Like, you want to talk about high pressure, you want to talk about, you know, nail-biting moments, $800 steaks being dropped, this getting sent back, this was undercooked, this is contaminated. Like, it's stressful. We're a startup. Like, every day is stressful. He's going to know how to deal with this. We brought Jason in the first 6 months, the company grew by 30, 35%, right? I got around new voices. I brought somebody else in from another industry, brought a whole new perspective to our business. And you guys can do the same thing. New questions. What happens when you ask new questions? You get new answers, right? You guys got to change the questions, because you got to change. Questions determine what you're putting your focus on, okay? So, you know, back when Bill Gates was building Microsoft, he didn't ask the question that every other software company asked, which was, how can we build software for computers, right? He asked his team, how can we build the software that's going to power every computer in the world? That's what he asked. He has a monster question like that. He was just saying, how can we build software? Hey guys, welcome. You know, I'll bring it back, man. You know, instead of asking yourselves a generic question like, you know, why can't we sell more cars? Try asking something like, how can we become the easiest dealer to buy a car from in our town, in our city? How can we make our store the easiest store to take a demo drive at? Right? More importantly, question everything. It's not just about the questions you're asking. Question everything. Because what we do is we get so on autopilot mode, okay? And we don't question these processes. So what's happening is like everything is changing, right? The market's evolving, tech is evolving, consumer experience is evolving, the websites, the products, but all this is evolving and we're not actually questioning the processes that are going on in our own stores, in our own businesses, right? So, why do we still handle incoming internet leads like this? Like, should we still be handling like this, or maybe should we have a look at this? Maybe we should take a look at that, right? Does it make sense we're still serving numbers like this today in 2019, soon to be 2020? Does that make sense? I'm just trying to ask as somebody in the business question. I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. Maybe you guys are doing a great job, maybe you're not. But what you need to do is you need to question it. That's all I'm saying. You just need to put a focus on challenging everything. It's funny, when we're kids, we challenge everything. Somewhere along that just stopped. We stopped challenging everything. We ask questions. My 6-year-old daughter, except Cole Hicks, he asks a lot of questions.
Still do.
Yeah. I do, because I need to question everything, because I need to understand it, right? I need to challenge it. I need to challenge it. New perspectives. How do you get new perspectives? You get in new environments, okay? We go to a lot of networking events, a lot, okay? So in Ottawa, we take, Jesse's on our team. He's actually, he helps organize one of the LinkedIn locals. We go out, I would say, almost weekly. The week felt weird if we didn't attend one networking event, okay? So we're out there, our team's out there. It's became a huge recruitment tool for us, okay? We built pretty much the entire company at networking events. That's where we've met just really skilled, talented people that actually, quite frankly, wouldn't have applied to the startup, right? Had we not been able to meet them in person and just make that connection, transfer that energy, share our vision with them. I go to a lot of networking events, guys, and I meet a lot of people from different industries, different walks of life. I'll tell you the one industries that I never bump into, dealers. I never bump into dealers at these things, ever. There's no one in automotive that's going to these tech meetups. We were at a fintech convention last night. There was like 300 people. There wasn't one dealer there. Okay? There's a Tech TO conference happening Monday night here on Lakeshore. It's going to be over 500 people. I bet you not one automotive dealer staff member's there. You going to be there? Okay. You're the exception, not the rule. So sorry, JP's there. I stand corrected. But you see what I'm saying, right? No dealers are going out to these things. There's great people here. There's really bright minds. There's answers that you need at these events. Okay, you're not going. I'll tell you what a lot of networking organizations are always looking for. They're always looking for hosts. Okay? I can think of a business that has a lot of space, a lot of square footage, a damn dealership. I go to all these networking events. They're being hosted by this restaurant put it up this time. This SaaS company put it up this time. This insurance company put it up this time. We're all crammed in these little cubicle offices, 300 people. I'm going, man, I wish we were in the frickin' Porsche showroom right now, right? Move a couple cars out of the way. Boom, you got your networking event. Dealers could be sponsoring these networking events. You guys could get a lot more involved in your communities with this stuff. You want to tap in. You want to tap into this because it's where it's heading. I'm not a guy that's going to stand up here and tell you to fear digital retail and tomorrow everything's going to checkout. It's not happening. It's not happening like that. It's not happening that quick. Okay, but there is evolution and there's a lot of change, and the lines between technology and the auto industry are getting closer and closer and more merged every single day that passes. Okay? I've yet to really come across only big dealer groups. I've yet to come across dealerships that have developers. I see so much wasted space up on the second floors of dealerships. I always ask, what are you doing up there? Like, what do you got going on there? Is it BDC? Yeah, there's like 3 BDCs, and that's all kind of like, I don't know, the snow pros go there and stuff, and like the old sale signs. Like, you know what I mean? We put like the old promo shit that we're never going to use again. Like, so like, software developers are some of the, the most in-demand employees right now to hire, period. You got companies like Shopify that are just doing anything they can to recruit these people. Why? Because they can actually create your ideas, right? They can bring them to life. And as technology is evolving, a lot of these things are actually becoming a lot easier to create. So what once took a team of 7 developers to build, you guys can get it done with like 1 person, with the new technologies and stuff. So new perspectives, new passions, right? Like, I don't think anybody got into the auto business like intentionally. When we all did the kindergarten thing, and like, what do you want to be when we're older? Like, I've yet to see the car salesperson, right? Like, we were all freaking astronauts and veterinarians, right? Like, that's what it was. No one like set out to, I'm going to get in automotive and this is what I'm going to do. So what happens is we end up all kind of getting into the business usually by accident, right? We kind of got into it by accident. We needed a damn job. We wanted to make some money. That's why we got into it. Andrew, why'd you get into it? I need some money, man. Started washing cars and said, frig this. I'm looking at the lazy salespeople and going, I can sell cars. Started selling cars, right? What was your passion? I don't know, money. Like, I wanted to make some money. I wanted to do something, right? Yeah, exactly, right? But what happens is, as you get more and more into the business and your career is evolving, you guys need to ignite some passion and some fire, right? You need to become passionate. You didn't get into it passionate. You didn't get into the car business to save the damn world. I know you didn't, okay? But now that you're in it, you can get passionate about something, right? We obviously work with a lot of credit dealers, okay? So a lot of dealers that, work leads, a lot of dealers have been doing that for many, many, many years. What I'm seeing is, I'm seeing a lot of new subprime dealerships opening. Okay, we're seeing a lot of them. Like, they're popping up like at a rate that they never were in the past. But I'm actually seeing a lot of these new players that are coming to the market. They're winning. Okay, they're actually winning. They're beating the dealers that have been doing it for so many years. And I've got real examples of new kind of credit-focused dealerships that are working about 300 leads a month that are out-delivering the dealership that's working about 1,000 leads a month that's been in business for 15 years. I'm going, this is crazy. What's different? Well, I can tell you one thing. The owners of these organizations are passionate. See, they usually came from these stores that have been around, and then they left to start their own thing, right? Because they were pissed off about something. And when they were pissed off, that lit a fire, right? And they said, like, it's almost a little envious, right? Like, I'm gonna show these guys. But they got excited, right? And they got passionate about making a mark, making a difference. Okay? So they got passion, they got ethics. I've never met Sean. I've never met him until 5 minutes ago. I can't wait to see this guy speak. This guy is so passionate about helping dealers. It bleeds through the videos on LinkedIn. I'm like, this guy is the real deal. He actually gives a shit. You can't say that he doesn't, right? You guys need to get passionate about what you're doing in your business. I don't know what it is, right? If it's a dealer, you need to get passionate about helping people ethically. Okay, stop trying to smoke people and put them to sleep. Like those, it never works out. You know that. It's never the marathon play, guys, right? That's always short-term thinking. You guys got to start thinking long-term. You actually have to start helping people, right? So it's a lot easier when you're passionate about it, because one thing that I find a lot of dealers lack is energy. We walk in these dealerships, there's just a lack of energy. There's no music on, it's dead, it's dreadful. It's like, dude, what's going on? Like, get some, like, I'm in and I'm just like, I'm like ADHD, D. But like, I walk in, I'm like, yo, like, let's get some music on. The devs at our company hate me because I put this freaking radio. I actually went out and bought this Sirius XM big radio on the dev side. And because the place is like, it's just eerie quiet right now, they're like, we're working, right? But I'm like, no, like I walk in, I want to feel that. I want to feel something, right? When I walk into dealerships, a lot of dealerships, I feel so sad. I feel sad, man. That's what I feel. I'm just like, what is going on? Like, there's people just walking around and, no one's got any passion. I want to see the passion. Because I'll tell you one thing, the passion bleeds through, okay? You're going to close deals, you're going to sell a lot more cars, okay? Because you want to close with conviction, you got to believe in what you're doing. You got to be doing something much more than just selling another car, chasing one other commission, right? It's got to be about something bigger, right? It's like, I actually want to make an impact in my community, okay? I actually want to, get a reputation for the top salesperson in my town, right? I want to be known as the person that can, I want you to be able to refer your mom to me and feel really, really good about it, okay? Because there's definitely a lack of pride. For all you that have been in the auto business, I can tell you one thing. I remember 3-4 years, right? And I'm like 22, 23. I'm making more money than most of my family. I'm making more money than my parents, right? 23, 24 years old. And even with the success and the money and the demos and the suits, Thanksgiving dinner, families around the table. Oh yeah, Andrew. Yeah, he's in the car business. Right? I'm like, yeah, I am. Right? Like I wasn't proud of it. Right? I am now. I wasn't. I was lacking a passion in my early days, right? I was lacking a fire. Right? I was just working for a paycheck. So new projects. Yeah. Who said Skunkworks? Okay. Do you know what Skunkworks is? Okay, you're gonna find out. So, look, new projects, right? You guys got to take on some new projects, some new experiments, we'll call them. Okay. This is how you're going to breed innovation. Now, for those of you who don't know what Skunkworks is, there's a definition. It's an experimental laboratory or department of a company or institution that's always smaller, it's a branch off, and it's independent of the main research division. So in companies like Google, Facebook, what the Skunkworks teams are is they're little break-off sessions that's actually mandatory to do if you work at Google. In fact, it's so mandatory, they force you to do it 20% of your time. So only 80% of the time that you're working at Google, you're doing whatever the job was that you were hired to do. Other 20% is working in Skunkworks teams and projects. These breakout sessions, okay? Innovating with other teammates from other divisions in the company, okay? Quick note, Google Maps came out of a skunkworking event, right? Because what is this? This is just a team of people, diverse people, just throwing ideas out. Hey, what if we did this? What if we tried this? No, that's dumb. Well, that might work, you know? Like, what can we do with the service drive? Like, it's just so flat. You know, how can we get more demos? How can we crank out the trade appraisals going on in the service drive? Just ideas, just throwing out ideas, whiteboarding, right? So, you know, a lot of people think, you know, well, look, I can't innovate, Andrew, because we can't just become a tech company, man. Like, this guy doesn't understand. I'm running a dealership, okay? We got to sell cars. We got to do our job. This guy's up there saying start having breakout sessions. Come spend a day in the dealership. I have. Okay, and I'm not telling you it's for 8 hours a day to start putting on, you know, having whiteboarding sessions up in the boardroom. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is take on new projects. Nothing ever starts going full in, all in, right? You got to assemble a little team, a little innovative team. So we do this at our company. We innovate every single day, right? We have weekly meetings with the team. When was the last time in the dealership you guys had a town hall meeting? Everyone, right? These dealerships get made up of, they're actually separate companies inside of one company. They operate as like separate entities. It's like, oh, that's the service company. Don't call it the department. Like, that's the service company. That's the parts company. That's the sales company. Well, that's the finance company. They hate the sales company, right? But it's different, right? It's like no one's working together here. Okay, so a town hall meeting is a meeting when the whole dealership's there. Dealerships should start doing Skunkworks. They should start doing breakout sessions. I'll tell you how to assemble that. All right, we're going to get 3 salespeople. No, I want a salesperson. I want a couple of salespeople. I want some advisors. I want a tech. You want a tech? You want to bring a tech out? No, leave him back there. Don't bring the tech out. I want a couple of technicians there. I want the detailer there. I'll tell you something, okay? The craziest ideas always come from the people you least expect it. You're going to be in these meetings. You guys are going to be having thought sessions, and you know, Joey, the detailer, is going to go, hey, what if we did this? And everyone's just going to go, that's actually a pretty good idea, Joey. Okay? Because I'm trying to model what all the tech companies are doing. Because here's what I did, guys. I left retail automotive. I left my dealership experience over a decade, and I started a tech company thinking, I'm a closer. I'm a salesman. I'm going to make this work no matter what, right? It didn't work that way, okay? It did not work that way. And I needed to actually learn how to run a tech company. And I've been fortunate enough to get mentored by some of the biggest tech companies in Canada and to start working with some of the biggest tech companies in Canada, okay? By the way, we did that through innovation. We did that when we realized we couldn't take on the competitors head on. So we actually have to think outside the box, get out there and start aligning ourselves with other bigger companies, right? What do we need when you're a lead generation site? When you generate, we need traffic. Okay, we need traffic. That's what you're paying for. I need traffic. All right? I don't want to just sit here and chip away at just our SEO and domain. I want to partner with other people that have 100 times the traffic we get and piggyback off that. Right? But that was through innovation sessions. We were literally sitting there and we were asking the wrong question, by the way. Right? We were just saying, how do we get more leads? You know, how do we get more leads? We need more leads. The demand's through the roof. We can't keep up with the dealer demand. We need more leads, right? We were asking the wrong questions. We were asking the wrong questions. We are in the age of entrepreneurship. We're in the age of the hustle, right? That's what we see. That's what's put in our face every single day. It's funny when you get into business and you get into the tech companies and you see the way these Facebooks and these Googles and Shopifys, when they run it, they're actually really efficient. It's really, really well done. And I had so many epiphanies when I was getting mentored by these tech companies. I'm going, I wish I knew this when I was running the dealership. You know, this would have been really helpful. Like the way that they do this, the way they do these stand-ups, and the way we break everything into these sprints. Like, I actually wish I was running my monthly sales targets in like sprints. I wish I was actually taking some of this, but I didn't know. I was never exposed to this world, right? I'm like, I got to share this with some of my dealer friends. Like, this is really good stuff, and that's why these guys are changing the world. Like, they're just the stuff that they're creating is, it's changing the world, right? So we're in this age of like entrepreneurship and the hustle. And look, if you guys want to create a company, right? Because I see a lot of people make this jump, and I always get this sick feeling sometimes because I see a lot of like people that like get fed up. They get like fed up with their job in automotive, and then they want to quit and they want to start their own company. Okay, so they quit and they don't know what they're getting into, and I'm here to tell you there's probably an easier way than starting your own business. Okay, probably taken 15 years off my life. So the automotive industry is an industry that's rich in resources. Okay, it's rich in real estate, and it's rich in expansion and growth, like mindset. Like look at the dawn of the dealer groups, right? Like how much consolidation has been going on, right? Like everybody's expanding, okay? So if you work at a dealership right now and you've got an idea, maybe you've got a product. Maybe you've got an idea for a product, you thought of it, okay? Maybe you've had more than one idea for a product, and what's happened to you more than once is you thought of it, that'd be a good idea. 6 months later, you see somebody doing the same thing you thought about. Has anyone ever experienced that? It's like, I just said that. Raised 100 million, Series B. That could have been me. I had the same idea, right? I didn't act on it. But if you're working in a dealership right now and you have an idea for a product, the answer might not be to just quit and go start your own startup, okay? Because you're already in an industry that's full of resources. If you do have an idea, I want you to think of that idea, that business, and I want you to think if there's a way that you could actually apply that to the dealership that you're working at. Okay, because I'll tell you one thing right now, that dealer principal could very much be your angel investor, right? GMs, DPs, they're always looking for staff to bring them new ideas, right? You could actually change and build a business right inside the dealership. You don't need to quit your job and go chase the hustle that way. You can do it as an entrepreneur right inside of your dealership. Thank you.
If anyone's done a presentation with tech and the tech didn't work, it's frustrating as all hell. So let's give them another round of applause. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. 5 minutes. I know it usually ends up at 10, but 5 minutes. And we're going to just get a drink, get something quickly eat, and we'll sit down and do this next part. So everyone have a 5-minute break.
Thanks, guys.
He goes, don't you want it? I go, ever listen to another podcast of mine, interview of mine, I hate myself. I've never done a second episode. I like it.
Good to go? Okay. First of all, thank you again to Andrew and his crew for coming all the way from Ottawa. Let's give him a round again. He was standing in the radiation zone. So, good to see him going. So, work-life balance. We all strive to have work-life balance. Some people have balance, some people have work. I don't know if some people who know me, some people who don't. I am lucky enough to be a cancer survivor. I've got a nice badge of honor right there, my radiation burns. I'm like some weird, no, don't, it's not something to clap about, no. I'm like the Loch Ness Monster. Look, we burnt him. The reason I mentioned that, I was diagnosed in 2012, just after I got married, just as my daughter was being born, my first daughter, with stage 4 lymph node, tongue, esophagus, and throat cancer. That's why I have this beautiful voice you all like right now. The strip club announcer voice comes to life. The reason I mentioned that is that before that I was going hard, I was going fast, and I really cared about me. Really, I wasn't married before. Well, that was a trial run. I wasn't married, importantly, before, and nothing mattered except me. It was like dating a narcissist. Me. Why aren't you talking more about me? This date's not going well unless you talk about me. So it's really important to understand there's work-life balance. How do we achieve that? God, it's so much easier to say than do. A couple things you can do. First off, I want everyone to repeat after me. What I can do for you. What you should be doing. They say the same thing, but they mean completely different things. Selling yourself and then selling an idea is a lot easier. Isn't it easier to have people buy from you when they want to buy from you? Absolutely. So work-life balance. We all are driven as salespeople, A-type personalities, to move forward in our careers. Yes? Perfect. So what have you done? I want to raise of hands for everyone that's taken time to go to the gym today. Oh, wow. Good for you. I don't go to the Gym. It doesn't like me. So the Gym. How many people have taken time to spend 15 minutes with their family? Perfect. So understand that you have to put a priority in. Andrew talked a lot about using technology and using ideas and systems to pull yourself forward. And schedule it. Put it in your calendar. Make it a pop-up reminder. And live and die by your calendar. Put everything in there. If you have to put bathroom time, knock yourself out. That's your problem, right? But you have to do it. Schedule your work-life balance, because that's what we do with our work. But there's no balance. So make sure you put it in your calendar, and no matter what, when that thing pops up, you stop and you do what you need to do, right? Because the only people who will be there at the end of the time is your family, your friends, your loved ones. Work, you're only loyal to yourself, right? So that's one thing I want to talk about. It's really important to me that everyone shares an idea of work-life balance. Now, as Sean knows, I am a huge Green Bay Packers fan, and well before Aaron Rodgers, like way back in the crappy days of the 70s. I'm a huge Green Bay Packers fan, and I'm tickled pink that Sean is here from Wisconsin, not only because I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, because I absolutely adore his passion is his purpose. He wants to make people better. CarBiz Done Better is it doesn't describe it better than he is. He actually told me once that anyone that wants to work with him, he sends a video of himself. He says, you got to watch that first, and then you tell me if you still want to work with me, right? He is authentic, he's passionate, and he's come a long way. And he lost his clothes. Let's give it up for Sean Welsh.
Appreciate that. You giving that to me?
Yep.
You sure I need this?
Absolutely.
All right. You're saying I need it. All right, Cameron needs it. That's fine. We're at a baseball game. I'm normally Mr. Sport Coat, but today I'm rocking baseball shirts and hats because I'm a big baseball fan. So,
Just turn on the clicker. Turn the clicker.
You didn't turn on the clicker?
No, turn the clicker.
Jason, I thought you said this was professional. Now I find out it's not. You can't help everything, right? I understand. That's why I don't have employees. I have just partners. All right, so I am Sean Welsh. Today I want to talk to you guys about this is kind of funny. This has never really happened to me before, to be in a situation where someone was talking so much about technology, and I'm about to tell you how much I don't think you need technology. This is going to get weird, but he's not wrong, and I'm going to cover all that. We're going to have a lot of fun doing it. I like to go with agendas, so the briefest of introductions. Again, Sean Welsh. This is what year are we at? 19. So this is year 22 of this crazy-ass business. I started as a detailer in 1997. I worked my way up. I've been all the way to the top of the mountain and back down again. And I'll tell you, the view isn't as great from the top of the mountain as people think. So I started Car Biz Done Better with my wife, my business partner and best friend since we were 13. So we've known each other a long time. He's my operations director. They convinced me to jump off a cliff. I wanted to buy stores like some idiot. I was trying to buy 2 more locations, wanted to go retail, have it be Sean's way and no one else's way. Turns out, bad idea. I was approached by a large group in Madison, Wisconsin who asked me to basically be on the outside looking in and create a business to help him understand digital marketing. So in 2013, we launched Car Biz Done Better. Its whole sole purpose in life is to monitor vendors and your automotive spend. I don't sell products outside of that. My whole goal is to make sure dealers have what they are supposed to be getting in return, because you do not have endless piggy banks for bank accounts. Co-op doesn't mean money grows on trees. It means cars have to be sold to get more of it. So that's why we created what we did. I'll tell you, I say this a lot. Technology will not fix a broken process. I'm in Canada, so someone here. I love Canada, right? More down? Yeah. Which way? Oh, you're trying the middle of the shirt now? Jeez.
What do you like up there?
Is that better? Are we better? No, we have 1 sec. Apologize, guys. I have my technology part here with my clicker, but apparently I'm out on audio. I can just talk louder.
No, it's just where it was positioned.
Oh, okay.
It was a little bit
Well,
awkward.
he should have just handed it to me. Jeez. No clicker, no mic. How are we doing this? All right, doesn't matter. Technology will not fix a broken process. So I just got into Toronto yesterday. My wife and I, it was her birthday yesterday, so I had a big, huge day planned. Yeah. So I was really, really stoked. I was going to take her out for this huge dinner. Oh, my God, I was so excited. Guess what? Delta loses my fucking bags. Delta, if you're watching, you suck. Okay? Hashtag Delta sucks, because what it cost me was an entire evening with my wife. It was stress. It was all these other things. Now, here in Canada, you do things a little different with a certain plant we don't do in the U.S., so that saved me, and I'm happy for it. I'm digging it totally. I love Toronto. This whole public acceptance is just awesome. I love you for it. It's the only savior I've had. So I'm walking down the street on my way to an establishment, and I spit, because I spit a lot. It's what I do. And a woman stops, and she goes, "That's disgusting." And we're crossing a major street. And I looked at my wife, I said, "Man, is it that gross?" And she goes, "We're in Canada." I thought, well, what does that mean? She's like, "You're just not appropriate." So we met up with a buddy of mine who lives here. We told him the story, and he goes, "You're disgusting." Okay, all right. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to swear less. I didn't start off well. I use it to punctuate. I use it as an emotion. I don't try to Gary V it. I don't want to just swear on every other line to get your attention, but it will happen, so I'll warn you against it. All right? Utilize the tools you have. To Andrew's point, you all have enough tech currently living in your dealerships. All of you. This is not a technology problem. We have been overwhelmed by tech over the last 20 years plus since I've been here, and I'm going to show you pretty much in a snapshot the last 20 years and why it still don't make a difference. Okay? People and process will always make the difference. The best stores in the country don't have the fastest websites. They don't have the most leads. They don't have the best BDCs. They have the best team. It's not just a BDC. It's not just a desk. Again, to Andrew's point, dealerships run in silos. I'm from grain country, man. I'm from Wisconsin, okay? You know what we use silos for? Put stuff in it, compartmentalize it so it doesn't touch other things. Why do we do it at dealerships? We do it because technology has led us this way. There's sales tech, there's fintech, there's service tech. Those tech companies don't talk to each other, right? So you have 3 different techs working. What are we doing? What we're doing is we're over-teching a problem. It has nothing to do with technology. At the end of all this, if you'd like, you could ask me questions. No one ever does. I don't know why that is. I do this a lot. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I won't even guess about it. So I doubt it. Here we go. Now it's probably a thing, right? So that's fine. I have to spit right now talking about it. It's really jacking me up. So, a brief history, technology. This is what we're going to cover. Technology, innovation, and its influence on the car business, okay? Because again, Andrew, this is wonderful to have someone before me with such great points. His point about innovation is not wrong. I just don't believe innovation has a thing to do with technology. I don't. And too many people in our industry are always like, ooh, innovation, tech, I'm so scared. That's not what we're talking about. He's talking about having a meeting with your service advisors and your salespeople in the same room. What is wrong with that? And who isn't doing that right now, right? Who amongst you isn't doing that, and why not? What's the reason? I want you to think through that, because that is what innovation means. It ain't about signing up for more technology. And at the end of this brief history I'm about to show you, the last thing I touch on is digital retail. So if you're a big digital retail fan, you may want to leave. I give a heads up at the end, okay? I really do. I also have a takeaway slide. I'm not really video worthy. If you guys want to record anything or take pictures, just wait for the last slide, okay? All right, 20 years ago, we had analog data. Show of hands, who's been in the car business 20 years or more? Okay, Rolodexes, everyone hip? Know what I'm talking about? Awesome, awesome. So we had Rolodexes, we had those gigantic, cool up pages, right? Everyone loved those things where you'd walk in, you'd have to flip it over like this to get everything you needed. Guess what? All the information I needed for that day was still right there, not locked in that dumb thing, okay? Because I can't see what's in there unless I know how to search and filter and do all this. Tell you what I know how to do, I know how to turn pages over. That I know how to do, okay? So what do we do for analog data? Ready for this expense? How about a CRM? Exciting stuff, right? Sean, you got to get rid of your notepad, bro. Not going to work. I need you to log in here to the old computer and put your information in there. Every time? Yep, every time. Then you got to go do the license scan. Then you got to do the paperwork. So this isn't saving me any steps. Oh, no. It's adding steps. Okay, great. But because no one explained its value on the high-end side of what that could really mean, if someone came to me and said, Sean, you know what? This right here, this Rolodex, I'm going to put it in here, and then it's going to do all kinds of work for you. Oh, well, then let's put my Rolodex in here. Let's get to work. But no, it was given to me as yet another step, as something I had to do, something that was told to me, not asked of me. And I'm not asking employers to go to their employees and ask them how they want to do it. I'm not a parent, okay? But one of the most frustrating things for me to watch parents do happened to me today in the elevator. The guy's talking to a 3-year-old kid, and he's asking him, so, are we going to the mall? Are we going to the game? And I'm thinking to myself, what is this? Why are we asking this kid? What's he going to say to us? Yeah, Dad, you know what, Dad, let's go up. Let's go 10 minutes to the right. We'll go over to the shops. Then we'll hit the game. How about that? No, the kid's going to go, yeah. And that's what he said. Yeah. And Dad goes, yeah, what? And I'm like, good God. Ask the kid if he wants to go to the game. Have him say yes or no. Why are we making it difficult? We do it because we think it's an important problem to solve that no one asked us to solve. But because we had technology come into the world, that was about when did I get my first CRM? 98, 99? I want to say right in there where it was just like, wow. They were not good. I didn't say that. I still don't think they're good. I don't think they're intuitive to clients and people. I think they're just, as it was stated on there, they're just management systems. That's the problem with it. There's not enough connection, I don't think, with CRMs, but that is not what we are here for today. 15 years ago, the problem, website leads. Okay? What are we going to do with all of the leads that we have now? Okay? Any of you have been doing this a long time, you may remember getting internet leads faxed to you. I do. So when you had your internet leads faxed to you, you'd come in on Monday morning, a bunch of faxes on the floor, this is exciting, and then you start working your leads in your Rolodex and so on and so forth. And then leads came into CRMs and the whole thing really worked out. But website leads were a problem, so the first expense I showed you was, it depends on who you use, maybe $3,000 to $4,000 a month. Let's just call it 50 grand a year. Ready for a bigger expense? How about these people? How about the BDC? Everyone's like, you know what, forget it. Here's what we're going to do. Salespeople, you can sit on your asses. Don't worry about it. You don't have to make calls. Don't worry about it. If an up comes through the front door, do me a favor. Just could you greet them, show them a car? That'd be great. What am I supposed to do my follow-up? No, I got 3 guys back here, dial phones. Don't worry about it. Okay, so then we had this expectation. What did we create, though, right when we got a BDC?
Lazy salespeople.
Damn right we did. A lazy salesperson culture, okay? So when I got to my first actual store, it was 2004, and I got to the first store that I got to with a BDC, or the conversation of a BDC, and we're all sitting there, and the owner goes, wait a second. If I need a BDC, what in the do I have 17 people standing out here for? All of us stood there and said, because they're lazy, And he looked at all of us in leadership. He said, no, because you're lazy. And we're not going to do it. And to this day, they're a store, when I met them, they had 3 stores. Now they have 9, going on 11. They've never used a BDC in their life. They use an entire salesperson process. If I hear the phrase internet sales floor one more time, I'm going to freak out. Okay? It's a sales floor. And yes, every customer previous to getting there has been on said internet. Let's just call it good. Remember we used to have to quote that when you're doing your ups with people? Like, oh, well, 70% of people do their research online. Get over it. It's 100%. I don't want to hear about it anymore. And if they're not, then whatever happens to them, happens to them. Have fun. Sell a car. Okay? So here's BDCs, right? Here's how they roll. And they create expense. They create frustration. They create silos. What have we done? We've created a problem within our dealerships now because salespeople do this. Well, I can't do it because I'm limited by cameras and lights. They just stand behind BDC reps like, we got any good ups today? No? You sure? And it just keeps there. The guy can't do his work because he's got salespeople all day. Got the good ups, the good ups. It's like Glenn Ross all over again. None of that matters, you see? Because if salespeople were engaged, they wouldn't have to have BDCs. And the best ones don't use them. And I mean salespeople. Big deal. Everyone uses a BDC, it feels like anymore. But the best salespeople don't rely, don't use. If anything, they use them as an assistant, which is what they should be. You don't feel like digging in on that nasty, hairy maturity list that's like 4, 5 months old? Give it to the BDC, see if they can find anything. You worry about low-hanging fruit, I guess. But again, to Andrew's point, when people start to think about development, when I was selling cars in Colorado when I moved there with my wife, one of the first things I did was I drove shuttle. People were like, why is this guy driving shuttle? Oh, are you kidding me? I get to hear all the bitching about this dealership. I get to hear and see where these people work, what they like and don't like about their cars, and I wear a normal uniform as a normal service guy. So no one knows me from Adam. I'm just Sean, the driver. It's wonderful intel and knowledge. Sell these people cars twice, maybe 3 times a month. Is that a lot? No. But if I'm selling 20 cars and I can sell 10% more for just driving a shuttle for an hour, yeah, makes sense. So conceptually, I started to really struggle with technology and added expense, which are 2 things that I currently fight as my own being. With that, because early on in my life, I didn't understand how they correlated to the business. But it doesn't mean they don't have value. Baseball nerds in here? Anybody? I mean, we're at a baseball? No? All right. So that's fine. That's fine. You don't want to show your hands or you're not a nerd. Doesn't matter. I am a baseball nerd. I am currently reading a crazy baseball nerd analytics book that is called The MVP Machine. And the MVP Machine is exactly what Andrew was talking about. It's about questioning the norms of current and past player development of baseball. All these guys standing down here, this book believes if they do the right things, they don't care. They can make them great. They can make them MVPs. That's what this book believes. I'm 70 pages in. I already agree. How cool is that? And it's because it correlates to my life. Moneyball is another big baseball book a couple years back. And I was using the idea of Moneyball to relate it to car dealers who are big baseball fans about wasted marketing dollars. But the reality now is, if you really look at dealerships, where we waste is in our process and in our people. Does anyone know what average turnover costs? A dealership? US dollars, sorry. Can't help you with the, I don't know the conversion shit y'all do. I don't know, like, whatever it is. The cost in the United States is like $60,000 a head with training and time expense. So in dealerships, turnovers, is that a problem even here in Canada, or is it just me? No, you have it here too? Yeah, turnover, big problem. And Andrew's point, again, look at this guy. It's just all this free Andrew's point here today. But to his point, it's about looking outside. If you want to find great salespeople, why require them having done so already? Are you not a good trainer? Do you not have a good program to bring the people in? Because if so, then yes, I'll hire the most qualified by existence, but maybe not in skill level. And that's probably more what you should be questioning. The book I'm reading, The MVP Machine, they question everything about baseball, and they're showing people in the history of baseball, questioning baseball's approach going back to 1920. That there were certain guys, one guy a year, one guy a decade, that would say, this is stupid, why are we doing this? The guy who bought the Kansas City Royals back in 1925, Mr. Kaufman, he didn't know nothing about baseball. He just saw it as a money-making machine. So when he got there, all he asked was, why do we do this? 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 Baseball's like, dude, own a team and shut up, sit in the corner. No one wants to hear your questions. What did he end up doing? He ended up creating an entire player development program and basically supplementing what we know today as minor league baseball. It's innovation, right? What's that to do with technology? It's about thinking outside the box, questioning the norm. I'm all about it. Let's get to year 10. This is a good one. Okay? The problem, digital marketing data. How many digital marketers do we have in the room? By hands? Few? Okay, yeah, all right, cool. Good. Well, this is emblem look familiar to you guys? Even here in Canada, right? Same thing. I got to double check all this. You're going to hear me say it all day because I just don't know and I don't want to be wrong, okay? Someone told me about poutine and I was like, so fries with cheese. They're like, oh, no. I'm like, okay, all right. I got it. I understand. That's what it sounds like you just told me. Throw some bacon on top. I'm good. All right. The solution, Google Analytics. I have any dealers in the room who are just like laughing? I mean, is there anyone here who wants to tell me to get effed? Because I get it, because this came along 2004-ish, 2005, maybe 6 by that time. I got really engaged in it. I got crazy about it. I wanted to do it because I knew my website was the conduit to future consumer behavior. I knew that I wanted my website to be the best. We used to have websites back before we knew Google hated Flash. We used to have websites like cars and shit driving on them and like blowing up, and everyone was like, my owner come in, he goes, Sean, I really love the snowfall you did for winter. I'm like, oh, thank you, boss. I'm really proud of myself. Turns out that site didn't do shit because Google didn't like it. Okay? So when I had to come to him and say, hey, boss, bad news, got to get rid of the snow, he stomped his foot. No, we're not getting rid of the snow. Boss, we need more leads, got to get rid of the snow. Google doesn't like the snow. My boss's reply is, he doesn't like Google. Fine, but the point is, I can't redo what Google started, okay? They did it, it's over, they own it, let's just all accept it and try to move forward within their program. Google Analytics has been accepted by about 90% of the industry as a middleman, at least someone who is unbiased, right? So we run our platform, well, we run our whole platform off Google because most of it's free. I'm not an expense guy at all, or hiring guy. See, I'm going back to my own deck here. I don't do either very well. The solution, Google Analytics, is a solution, but God, you've got to know where to look, okay? I've been doing this with analytics over a decade. I always tell people, don't go in by yourself. Have a Sherpa. Because if you don't, you can get lost fast, real fast. The beautiful thing about data, people say, Sean, why do you look at the same reports every month? Don't you get bored? No. Why? Because the second something's broken, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. But there's so many other things. You can go into conversion, behavior, blah, blah, blah. Great. Do you have a question about any of those? Well, no. Then why am I going to go there? Well, it's there. You should use it. Wrong. Just because you have a mound of data doesn't mean you have to go piling through it unless you have a reason. Give me a reason to go in it. I'll find you every silly, dumbass thing you want to know. But don't just tell me to go look because I can look. It's a waste of everyone's time. Look at your reports. Know what you're looking for. I love when dealers call me, Sean, looks like the Google clicks were up last month. The Google, yeah. Because you got the snapshot report. Cool. Yeah. Yep. That green arrow, that specifies clicks are up. Problem is you signed up for a generic bad email that gave us a bunch of terrible traffic that didn't do shit. But yeah, the green arrow's up. So woo! I'm super proud of you and your bad decision making. Call me next time. That's why I'm here. Okay. Speaking of this, do we have any big attribution fans in the room? Oh, that was weird. Must be how I positioned the question. Well, good. That doesn't matter because I don't like attribution. I'm going to show you why. Digital marketing overload, credit for sale. Do you guys talk about that up here? What vendor sold me the car? Who sold me the car? Who sold me the car? Anyone know what this is? From Google, right? Here's what they talk about. 24 average touch points, 19 are digital. For those of you in the car business, do you do half deals? 2 salesmen split a deal? Do you do half deals? Yes? Are you in the business of 1/24th deals? No? Well, what happened? I thought we were splitting deals. This is what makes attribution a complete waste of everyone's time. Have a marketing program that's well-rounded. Understand what you're trying to identify and who you want to your website or in a part of your plan. Stop trying to tie things to the sales of cars. Do you know why I say that? Anyone have any idea why I'm so passionate about this? Because marketers don't sell cars. Salespeople sell cars. If you want to know attribution, look at your salespeople and your sales managers and your process. Stop talking to marketers about how many cars they sold you. Marketers can bring them all the way here. You have to get them over the line, and if you cannot, stop blaming your marketing. Most of you don't have a marketing problem. Sorry. Those of you on the live stream in the US, you know what I'm talking about. You heard me say it to you a bunch of times. None of you have a lead problem over there. You all have a process problem. There we are. So how do we fix it? We have attribution, dude. Look at TrueCar. Do you guys have that here? Is that a thing here? TrueCar? No? No, it's not. Okay, so down in the States, TrueCar is a place that a long time ago they decided we're going to charge a dealer per sold unit in their DMS. Every time we log a car that's sold by you, you're going to pay us $500. Sounds expensive. They were smart at the time. NADA was saying that the new car acquisition cost was $600. So they came to us and they were like, we'll guarantee you $500. Okay, that sounds great. More leads, great. Turns out it was a terrible plan for all of us because we would get that lead from somewhere else, but it didn't matter. They hit our DMS. TrueCar's like, that's our name, man. We gave you that. No. Here's a screenshot of my CRM. I've got this like 14 times. That's the last place he went or the middle place. That's cool. We like to hear that. Great. That's $4.99. So that's cool or fine. Whatever. You owe us the money. Okay, fine. So I become an attribution anarchist because I have yet to find someone who can really convince me. And I sit with some of the best tech companies in this industry, and they sit there with their dashboards all tying together, showing me the click watch and watch this, Sean, you can do this. Most of that's available in GA if you really gave a shit. I mean, really, most of it is if you really want to tie it together. To Andrew's point, dealership's going to hire developers. Andrew, I love the idea. It's just not, from an expense standpoint, it's never going to happen because we can't even think about hiring someone to make sure that our BDCs are run correctly. We just take someone who did it for a year and they're the BDC manager. So you're not wrong. We need to do this. We need to tie it in. I work with a big Honda dealer out in Northern California, one of the biggest, and he's got an internal team of just dudes that are just all tech dudes. And they just, you know why? He lives in what I refer to as millennial tech hell, okay? He is 8 minutes from Google in Palo Alto, California. He's also going to come up here down the road when I get into digital retail because, as I mentioned, he's in millennial tech hell, and I think it'd behoove you to hear what really goes on with him as it relates to that process. Wouldn't you know it? Man, I've done this before. The problem, continued increase in consumer online retail. Now, check the word out. It's an increase in their behavior. So the second technology companies realize there is some sort of behavior in the car business that is yet to be addressed, dude, those people come swooping in like the craziest eagle trying to get a bird. I mean, these people come in, they're like, God, we fixed it. How'd we fix it? With digital retail. This is how we're going to do it. Everyone wants to buy a car online. Look at Amazon. That's all I ever hear. Look at Amazon. Look at Amazon. I buy like $19 things on Amazon. What are we talking about here? Okay? Oh, Sean, in the States we have Carvana. All online. You can sell your car to them. You can buy your car to them. That's it, though. They can't buy new cars, sell new cars. Can't do that. Guess what else they can't do? Service, deliveries, have a clue what they're talking about when they deliver a car to a customer. Congratulations. Guess what dealerships have? Everything Carvana has and more. So why are we so worried about buying a car online? Because we think our consumers have asked for it. If you really look, again, in the US, I don't have Canadian data on this, but if you look in the US, most of the survey results you hear from people are about time and ease of access. Not one time do you read someone say, I would like to do that for my underwear. No, they don't say that. You know why? Because they really don't care. They really don't. They want what they want. They don't want to waste a ton of time doing it. And if you can present them as the solution to that, you're probably bound to do more business than you'd think. So digital retail, the cost of digital retail comes at a few for me. Communication with clients. How many of you are comfortable giving a customer a quote over the phone for his trade and his new car without meeting him? Guys, where are the hands at? No hands. Okay, so here's the thing, right? So you mean to tell me that technology is going to convince me and you that you're going to let this dude pencil his deal by himself without you involved? I don't think so. So there's one cost. How about the inspection of process? How do I know what's going on internally? The second a customer enters into a digital retail portal, they're in that portal. In most cases, they're off your primary URL into their own container. So now what? Do I get to see what goes on there? Oh yeah, you get reports of where the fallout is. What does that do for me? What does a fallout report do for me 3 days later? Why can't I be active watching it happen? Well, the technology's not set up for that. Why though? Not. Why can't I watch it? Why can't I sit there and be a total creep online and watch you go through buying your car? Because the second you stop at finance, I like to pop up a chat box that says, hey, we stuck here? We have a question? Do we not like what's going on? Did you want to come to the dealership anyways? Right? So that's what we're having. We have overhead expense. These programs are expensive in the States. These people start talking about digital retail. They want to put e-commerce things on your website. Those are expensive and unnecessary. I'm going to show you. You already have all the tools you need to execute digital retail. You just got to put them together. It's going to be fun. Accountability. Deal falls apart. Whose fault is it? Is it yours? I don't know. Were you a part of the deal? No. Okay. Is it the company's? Yeah. Let's do that. Let's blame. Digital retail company. You lost me 3 car deals. Are you going to fire them? Well, I need digital retail. Well, then what are we talking about? Really? Redundancy. I'll show you redundancy in a second. These are the more fun ones. CSI. Why does it affect CSI? Because if anything goes wrong in that process, the customer bolts. And if you do it online, you buy a car, right? And the customer's all excited. He shows up to the dealership, and guess what? You're ready to start the process over again because you're not exactly stoked about the gross or the trade unit or whatever it is. So you start rehashing the deal with him. Guess what happens to CSI? He probably buys the car. Boom. You get crushed because what happened online didn't get delivered in the store. That's what I need you to think about. Shiny objects. I think I'm missing an N on that maybe. Shinny. Doesn't matter. The point there, look, hey, I don't write these things, okay? He's watching on the live stream. That's on you, bud. That is not me at all. Shiny objects, though, serious problem. Well, dude, this ain't my screen, but I'm all about that. Like, I would just totally, they can have an N here for the rest of their lives. So shiny objects, big problem in our industry, right? We're always in it. We're always looking for the next piece of tech that will make me not have to engage my job. Maybe we'll fix everything from afar, and now it's all going to be fine. You can't just expect these tools to work. Technology needs humans to run it. That is how it's run. That is why it's run well. Gross, I don't need to tell you guys what happens if you try to, you guys won't even give quotes over the phone. There's no way you're going to get them online. So, and this happens all the time. This is not odd. This is all part of why I ask these questions. Time and effort. Training, and most of all, the biggest problem in any dealership to do anything ever, buy-in. Because if it does not start at the very, very top of the mountain and come all the way down as not an ask but an order, in order that, hey guys, this is the job, this is how we do the job together, we're going to get better, sell more cars, then it will ultimately fail no matter what the technology is, digital retail or otherwise. Okay? So let's talk about the tools we have on your dealership websites here in Canada. Do you have credit applications? Yes. Do you have ability to text? Yes. Okay, we're getting places. Do you have a trade evaluator? Yes. Does anyone have any idea what the 3 main things in a digital retail tool are? Good news is I just named them for you. Isn't that fun? I just saved you guys like $2,000. You're welcome. Because it's a bunch of bullshit. You have everything you need right now today to succeed at the idea of digital retail. But before we sell cars online, we're going to have to give quotes on the phone or over text where people are comfortable communicating with us. And if we're not okay with that, then okay, I get it. But if your consumers are okay with it and you're wondering why you're getting pump in, pump out results that look the way they do with other people, it's because other people are probably willing to have conversations that make you uncomfortable. I get it. Trust me, I have uncomfortable conversations like that's my life. I get it. But it doesn't mean you can't have them. Doesn't mean you shouldn't have them. You've got to have them. You have to get uncomfortable so you can actually get through things and see what's going on in your dealership. And I learned that firsthand when I was running stores, and I thought, I ran it, like Andrew said, I was a salesman, man. Like, what is so hard you guys don't get about just writing the VIN down the right way on the Foursquare and coming over here until I was like, why am I having these people write shit? Why don't we have iPads? What are we doing? Why are we making this more difficult on people? I'm complaining about the guys writing penmanship when he could type it in a computer. All right, now we've got everything put in the computer. Great, looks clean. But why are we delivering it the way we're delivering it? Why are we having a Foursquare? I dominate Foursquares, dude. I'll write it up right now. I'll sell you whatever we're trying to sell you. I love a good Foursquare. Problem is, customers don't. You know why? Customer doesn't know what that means. Foursquare, you sit down there like, what is this? You're like, oh, well, this is your trade. Let's start here. Start with your current payment. Let's come down here to the value. Let's come down here to my sale price. Down here, press hard, 2 copies. Let's get started. What the just happened, man? I just was standing here. You're like, yeah, no, we're Foursquare. We're in, right? You're good? Yeah? No? Yeah? No? Okay. What should we do? Oh, do you guys do this here? Where a customer's in your showroom and you need a deposit to bring it up to the desk to get the number your customer wants? Is that a thing here? Yeah. Right? So it was a huge thing when I started in 1998 in Chicago, like seriously huge. So I'm sitting there at a desk, I'm working a deal. Customer goes, yeah, so I'm good. I'm like, cool. I just need a deposit. I'll bring it up front. We'll get this deal done. Deposit. I don't trust you with that. I'm like, okay, bro. No problem. I can't go get it. He's got to know that you're real. You know what the guy offers me next? His 8-year-old. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, dude, take the 8-year-old. All right, bro, let's go. Walk him up to the desk. I'm like, boss, a new detailer? I don't know what we're going to do with this kid, but he's ours if we don't make the deal, so this is great. Why did I do it? Because it's what my customer asked me to do. When I first moved to Colorado, I got the nickname Chicago Sean real fast because that's where I'm from. That's the car business I grew up in. It's not easy to grow up in a car business that way. You got to be rough cut, and I wasn't that way when I got there. I got that way over time. But when we were there, guys outside in Colorado, where dealership overlooks the mountains. The guy's super relaxed. He's in his Birkenstocks and his shorts, and he says to me, "Yeah, so I'm not going inside." Like, I don't understand what that means. He's like, if we're making a car deal, we're making it out here. I'm like, dude, give me 5 minutes. Go back inside, big ass table outside the front door, roll it, sit it down. I'm like, did you want a chair? Or are we gonna stand over this?
Real life suckers.
Dude, the guy's head blew up. He's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, you just said you weren't coming inside. I didn't waste an hour and a half showing you this car to not make a car deal. So let's go. Oh, well, oh, okay. So you weren't that committed to the car deal. I rolled a chair out here and everything for you. You don't even care. It's commitment to buy. It's commitment to do business. Why did I do it? Because it's what my customer asked me to do. These tools, if your customers want to engage with you that way, do it. If some of you are saying, man, I'm seeing a huge spike in text, stop texting them to call you. They want to call you, guess what? They'd already done that. They have a phone. They've been texting you. I don't like it. I'm a phone guy, okay? I just started texting like 3 years ago, maybe. I mean, I hate it. I think it's dumb. You got something to say, call me. You want to be a tough guy? Call me. Let's talk about it. Don't text me a tough guy email or a tough guy text. Let's talk about it. Guy to guy, girl to guy. I don't care. Say it. Don't hide. That's not running a business. That's just talking amongst people, right? But if my consumer said to me if I was still running dealerships and everybody was into text, you bet your ass all my dealership reps would be doing is texting people. What's the silly percentage I heard? Like 90% of texts are open, 12% of emails, or whatever it is. But here we are. People come to me, Sean, do you have a dynamic, engaging template I can send by email? It's called, yeah, dude, here, watch this. So text it to them. Well, but what about the grammar and the incorrect? That's texting, bro. Just go text them. They don't care. It makes you a human being. Do you guys ever realize when you're texting with a robot and when you're not? Yes. Right? Look at all of you. Yes, of course we do. Because it's fucking annoying, dude. Text with a robot. Sounds like a young questioning millennial, like, but why? But why? It's like, dude, service help, and you move on. But for me, I like to get engaged with tools that move things forward. And I think that the tools you have aren't just, look, I put email on here as a joke. Sorry, maybe it wasn't as funny. It should be replaced, though, honestly, with video, right? We have video folks in the room, right? Video engagement folks, yeah? Awesome. Just kind of like texting. I got into like LinkedIn and video about 18 months ago, 2 years ago. People say to me all the time, Sean, how do you get the following? I have no idea, dude. I just hit accept like 9 times out of 10. Because I hate social media. I do. I'm sorry. I know. It's weird. If I didn't like you in high school, chances are highly likely I don't like you now. So I'm good. And I don't have family. I need to communicate with kids and all these other things. So again, not on social media, but I use it for work. Apparently LinkedIn's for old people. I don't know. That's what I get told by younger kids. I have a nephew who thinks that I have 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which I don't know what that means. I really don't care. He's offended by it at the age of 9. He's like, 100? Who cares? I'm like, well, obviously not you, friend. So that's great. But it's about engagement. So when I use video, I started to quickly realize that people were going to either buy into this current what you're seeing or opt out of what you're seeing. So we started a podcast. It's called 5 Minutes with Sean, Maybe 10. I started it. We just did our 105th episode. Yeah. We did our 105th episode. And the reason we did it was, A, because I needed some therapy. Just truly. I have so much pent-up crazy shit in my head. I wanted to get it out. But more importantly, the reason we did it is we use it as a dossier for incoming clients. And all we say is, here's the first 2 videos. If this dialect and talk and approach interests you, call us. 9 times out of 10, this is going to catch you by surprise. They do not call us. But that's fine, because I'm only looking for the 1 out of 10. That's who I am. That's how I run my business. I run my business very niche. 9 out of 10 don't like me. That's a win for me, because I don't have to waste 9 conversations of an hour apiece telling some guy what I'm doing or how I do it. It's all out there for you to see. You either like it or you don't. It's okay. I got no problem with it. People argue with me all the time. Sean, that's not right. Great, man. High five. That's how you feel. This is how I feel. I'm going to change your mind. No, that's not how this works. Not for me personally. I'm rough to change minds on, okay? I'm a car guy at heart in some data nerd's body. That's how this happened. Otherwise, I'd be running car dealerships like I was raised to run car dealerships, which probably doesn't fit today. But maybe I would have adapted over time. Now I feel like if I went back, because I've been exposed to so much of it, I certainly would. I would certainly, that's why I go on these tours. Jason, for all of you who haven't been to other events, what makes Jason's event really kick ass is that he called me and invited me to do this. In the States, if you guys ever heard of Digital Dealer, all these other conferences, they want me to go through this application process, kick in a door, do this, do that. Talk about technology loss. Why don't you people go look at my social circle? Why don't you go look at previous presentations I have online and decide if you want me at your conference? I'm not jumping through hoops for you people. I'm here to help educate. Well, don't you want to sell at these? No. Aren't you worried about making deals? No, I don't care about deals. We are a small company that is running perfectly as is. I'm here to help educate because I love the damn business. Well, Sean, if you're going to have a company, you have to have a mission statement. Why do I have to have a mission statement? Can't I just do what I do? So you know what I decided about a year ago? The mission statement is this. I am here to leave the car biz better than I found it. That's it. It's that simple. And I do that by coming to rooms like this and engaging people. Sales managers, salespeople, and video are the future of how you're going to do all of this. All of it. People say, well, customers don't want to be engaged by video. They may not want to be engaged in video like FaceTime. That does not mean they don't want a quick 15-second, hey, I'm Sean, and I'm here to do X amount of whatever. I'm here to help with your car. Check it out. Most of these tools have open rates. They have length of video watch. I mean, they've got all the analytics you need to see if it's actually working for you. So take the time, dig in, see what the score is. But stop acting like you don't have everything you need today to pull off some high-tech expense that you actually don't need. Okay? I want you to think about getting back to the basics. You know how many people I sit and talk to a month who can tell me to the absolute dime how many cars are sold and what the trend is for the month? Actually, it's higher than that for solds. 0 on everything else, okay? Good job. 90% of my viewers know exactly where they're at, where they were last year on sold units, and where they're about to end up because they're already fired up about what they think the end's going to be. That's one of my favorite conversations on the 14th of a month. Someone calls me just panicked, dude, they're sweating. Sean, what am I going to do? Up, sales, everything's down. Oh my God, we're going out of business. Yeah, we're going to do 70% of our business traditionally in the United States from the 15th to the 30th. Why does everyone forget that? Because you're stressed out. It's the 15th, you're freaked. You're like, dude, it's the 15th. I haven't got, the board doesn't match. But you ask that same dealer, okay, cool. So I'm a kind of a guy who says, hey, what does it take to get to X, right? That's how I used to set up myself. If I want to sell 40, how many cars a day do I have to sell, et cetera, right? What's my pace? These guys can't tell me how many ups they had. They got no idea. You can tell me how many cars you sold, but you can't tell how many people come through the door to give you that opportunity. So do you know if you have a lead problem or a selling problem? Which is it? Well, I don't know. Then why are we talking about new technology? I mean, I hate to be, I don't hate technology, I'm slow to it, is all. Lead management, BDCs. BDCs exist because we gave up on the principle of lead management. That's what the first CRM ever used by a company called Cobalt, that was the name of its CRM. Welcome to the Cobalt Lead Management System. This makes a lot of sense, man. This is great. Manage leads, manage flow, set up timers, etc. Now all of those flows should involve text and phone. They should almost remove or extremely mitigate the use of email. That's what I would tell you. Back to basics also includes phone skills. Do you know all these things you guys have laying out in front of you have done to the phone ups at car dealerships in the last 5 years, at least in the States? They're up astronomically. Phone ups are through the roof because everything is right there. We're ready to do it. We're going to call you. Yet over the time frame, as the leads of phones have done this, guess what our ability to close on the phone has done? This. So we've missed the boat. Now the phone's ringing and we don't have qualified people taking calls. What do? We get a BDC first. We have them deal with the calls at $8 an hour, and we let the guys making 60, 70 grand sit on their ass wait for that guy to come to the door. It's backwards. The phone dominates. It's all you should care about. Because from the phone, there's going to be texting, but mainly there'll be the phone. So think about phone skills. I always joke that when I go to conferences, it's still crazy to me that like 10 speakers will get approved to talk about phone training. But then I really look around the landscape and I think to myself, I know why. I get it. Because we still are pretty bad at it. Pretty bad at it. I already mentioned it earlier, buy-in. Buy-in goes for everything in a dealership. I don't care if it's tech. I don't care if it's process. I don't even care if it's hiring, truly. Everyone should be bought in. And if they're not, we've got to ask why. And then once we find out why, we need to sort of run through it with them, you know? This is why. Okay, is it that way because of A or B? Oh, yeah, it's a drill down. Like I said earlier with data, same thing happens with the human experience. If you have questions for a human, keep asking more questions. That human will either say it or they'll just be like, you know, I'm good. I got nothing more to say. I'm good. So drill down, get buy-in, understand why you don't have it. I put email in because every time I don't, inevitably after one of these sessions, someone will go, you didn't mention email. So, all right, there it is. Back to basics. All right, use your email, whatever, from your phone probably. Transparency is a big buzzword down in the States. You know, everyone wants to be transparent, kind of show you the score here. Good. I mean, the price of a new car in the States has been listed for well over a decade, so I don't really understand where I need to be transparent is the fact that it's already out there and let's do it. If you don't like the number I'm giving you, then that's the number. That has nothing to do with transparency. It has to do with your dislike of my figure. It's not me hiding something in most cases, right? Chat, is that a thing here? Right? You guys go Goobagoo, right? No, yeah, all right, it's Canadian. So chat companies are important, and what we're finding now is that the newer technology of chat allows you as a store, if the chat company is having a chat with you, and all of a sudden you say lease or payments, my phone blows up, and then we're into a text, right? It's a chat on my phone, and I'm now texting directly with you as a sales representative. That to me seems like really good opportunity to just get involved, you know what I mean, and sell a car. Most people are like, those are all junk. Oh, okay. All junk? Is it because they're on your phone, or is it because you don't understand what they're doing, you don't do it yourself? I don't chat. Okay. I gave up being a car consumer a long time ago. So people ask me, what's it like to buy a car? I don't know. I don't buy cars like most people buy cars. I walk into a buddy's office, wife wants that car, that price, I'll see you tomorrow when the car's ready. It doesn't work that way for the majority of people. So I don't comment on being a car consumer because I don't have a clue. I have no idea. I love the car business. You know the funny part about it? I don't actually know shit about it. I don't know how to change oil. I don't even know where to start. All I do is ruin a perfectly good suit getting underneath a car. No idea. You guys, those big Maroni stickers on new cars, that's how I sold new cars. I mean, I walked up because it wasn't about that for me. It was about selling a human whatever that human desired. If it was that car, then let's go up and look at the option packages that the manufacturer already nicely printed for me on the screen. I look like a hero. Look at the safety. Oh my God, 4 stars. Isn't this amazing? And let's go drive the car because that's what it's about. So I use all of the basics to lead back to one thing, and it's the customer experience. So do you have a lead problem or do you have a selling problem? And you've got to get real deep. Don't just think about first glance like, nope, I got a lead problem. Nope, I got a sales problem. Think about it. Look at the data at hand that you have. I've already covered all the technology as to why you should have all this data with your BDCs and your CRMs and your situations. Now go use them. We always say, my business partner and I in the United States, we are unbelievable at data aggregation. We can put data in, we're putting it out in the sea right now, man, on cargo ships. We got so much of it. We don't know shit to do with it because we're just too worried about trying to find that one thing for this gigantic data set to tell us one story. Let's just take the journey through the data, see what it tells us. Why does it always have to be that it's black and white? Newsflash, nothing about data is black and white. Nothing about advertising is black and white. Advertising is to help you get situated and to understand where you're trying to go. But as far as looking at the results, don't make it black and white. It's very gray. It's very gray because it all depends on who's looking at it through whose lens. Do owners view selling cars the same way sales managers and salespeople do? No, they don't. So now what? Do we come together on that? No, we stay in our silo where the owner goes, I demand this. Sales manager walks up to the salesman, says, I demand this because he demands that. And then we've done nothing. So get back to the basics. Understand if you have a lead or a selling issue. People and process. In the middle, I believe, is success. I think if you look at the most successful dealerships as I opened this show up and stated it to you, that is what I believe happens at all of the best that I see and work with, and even ones that I don't, and I see from afar. I see the ones who are all over, again, on LinkedIn when I say social media, right? So here I am all over LinkedIn, and on there, I see a bunch of people in the last 2 years start doing like testimonial videos, right? Where they're standing with their customer. Yeah, they're super awkward because they're both just like this, you know, and the camera's over there. It's weird, but it's okay. You know why? Because at least they're doing it. You know how much production goes into my podcast by dollar figure? Finance ladies got it. 0. My podcast is shot from an old microphone and a cell phone. We don't edit it. I got nothing to hide. You don't like it? Turn the episode off. I don't really care. I'm not going to take out what I said. I'm not going to change what I said. I've never edited one thing on my podcast ever. Why? Because I don't care. Because to me, it's all about the success of how I'm doing it. I have the people, the process, and the technology. We run everything through Google Drive. It costs no money there. We put it on Google's wonderful video program called YouTube for free, and I move on with my life. How is that hard? Again, if one more person says, Sean, where do you find the time to shoot a 6-minute video where I rant my ass off? Do you have 6 minutes? Like, throw out your phone. Let's go. I don't care. So think about what you do in your stores for process, technology, and people. In my life, that's how all 3 of those come together and create success. Look, our podcast only reaches like 5,000 to 7,000 people a week, okay? It's not like a huge deal. But to me, it's gigantic. It is humongous. 5,000 to 7,000 people. Now, do they listen to the whole? I don't care. Again, Sean, what are your video metrics? Don't know, never look, don't care. Don't do it for that. I do it to get it out there. I do it to educate. I don't just sit on a stump every show on my podcast. I try to educate and bring the industry together. That's the goal of the whole thing. People and process will be the difference. So, let's talk about takeaways. Number 1, utilize the tools you have. And the tools you have are not limited to technology, just as innovation is not limited to technology. Already have it. All of you already signed off on trade, finance, and payments. You all signed off on it, so I know you have it. Use it. Customer says, hey, I want to get interested in finance. Send them a link. Don't make them come to the dealership. They would have already said to you, I'd like to come to the dealership, fill out a credit app. That's not what he said. She said she wants to fill out a credit app and see where she lands. Do it for her. Because guess what? If you don't, someone's going to. There is someone in this room who's willing to do what I'm talking about. Maybe they can't right now because people above them don't buy into it. But I know it. I know for a fact he's right there. This dude was in the mix of doing that and was basically stumped out by people above him who were like, nah, this guy's weird. Get him out. Get him out. Well, that's agreed, but he's good weird. You see? Same thing happened in my book of the baseball history. Since 1920, all we've been doing with people who've been questioning baseball is telling them, get lost. Get lost, dude. We know how to swing a bat. If you don't know how to swing a bat, get lost. You're going to have a data guy tell a guy how to swing? The most prolific hitters in baseball today are all impacted by what's called swing trajectory, basically, or launch angle of the ball. Launch angle was born from metrics of nerds who never swung a bat. The best players in the world are now listening to stat heads tell them how to swing a better bat. This year in baseball, as evident by this broken-ass window, home runs are at an all-time high. Never seen more home runs in the history of baseball. Why is it? Launch angle.
Pitchers are hitting home runs now like crazy.
Pitchers hate the new ball. But that's not what we're here for. But this is still, the point is that data can influence great things if you know what you're looking for. That's my biggest question. People and process will still trump any, sorry, I hate using that word. That's my bad. The people and process will always make the difference, okay? I'll always make the difference because, unlike the aforementioned word, we're all about people coming together. We all want everyone, when we're at our dealerships, I want you working with me, working with service. If my salesmen haven't been up to a sales advisor or service advisor in a week, my question is, what are you doing? You don't think there's been one ticket on this dude's desk in a week that he's like, there's no way these people are paying this much money to fix this car. You don't think he's heard it? Go get him. Ask him. My dad taught me when I was a young kid to make sure I knew everything on the very surface level about all the sports that I could. He raised me, man, Sundays watching golf, NASCAR, bored the shit out of me. But when I walked into a dealership, I could talk to a mechanic about NASCAR. I could talk to a salesman about basketball. I could talk to an owner about golf. Do I care about any of those sports? No. But if I can bring the passion, I can identify with you, the next time I need something, guess who remembers my NASCAR joke on Monday morning? Right? So think about how you engage your people. Think about what you put together as your process. Who birthed the process? Is that guy even here anymore with the turnover we have? Are we just following blindly an idea we think, we heard, we thought worked well? I see it every single day. We have about 60 clients, and these dudes run the gamut, okay? I got a guy selling independent cars up in Seattle, Washington, selling 50 cars a month, and I got a guy up here doing 1,000 units on Honda. Guess what? They got the same problems and headaches. It's hilarious. You know what it comes back to? People, process. Hiring. The digital retail story I was going to tell you was that Anderson Honda, okay, so you guys can look them up. Anderson Honda, they have digital retail on their website now. It's back on there because they noticed after about a year there was incremental deals they were losing. But let me tell you something that was interesting when we first pulled the data. Remember what I told you he was, right? Millennial, tech, hell. I mean, ground zero of all of that nonsense, he's there. He did less than 3% at a Honda dealership, end-to-end digital retail over 2 years. 3%, people. Are you in the 3% business or are you in the 97% business? I'm just asking. So what did he do? He made the move to just get rid of everything. That actually included me because I was like, this is, it's not that bad. But so we all parted ways. About 11 months later, he called me back. Colossal mistake, my bad. I screwed it up. Take me back, please. Of course, like what do I? I'm a car guy. I'm over this already. I was over it when you hung up on me and called me a nasty name like 2 years ago. Doesn't matter. I want people to work together. So he says to me, I'm going to put it back on. So now all we see is incremental deals, but we have a different approach. It's more gross derived. It's more after the fact, not up front in your face. It's actually turning out to be a better product because we learned how we want to use it. Just like Google Analytics, which by the way, does everyone in this room know that was not invented for car dealers? Is everyone clear on that fact? But we bend it to our will to tell the stories we want it to tell. It's the same thing here. Digital retail can be bent to the will and fear factored into you that tomorrow if you don't, your consumer will buy a car on Amazon. That is false. Now Amazon's definitely getting in the ad game. I won't lie about that. Digital marketers in the room, check it out. They're getting pretty serious about that. But buying a car from Amazon? No, sir. Franchise agreements alone in the United States would kill that idea. But in general, I still don't believe it's what consumers actually want. Now, I did tell you earlier I was not a car consumer. Guess what? I'm not, but I go out of my way to talk to every person I know who is. I've spent Saturdays at dealerships I work with and don't even actually sell cars. I was just there consulting. I sit there on Saturdays just to exit and interview sold customers. I thought about doing an entire podcast series on it just to prove my point because I know I'm right. I've been doing this too long, I've seen it too many times to know people and process will always be better than any piece of tech you can give. So this is the biggest line that everyone kind of has glommed onto since I started saying it. Technology will not fix a broken ass process. It can't. Okay? Most times when I walk into a dealership, I say this: your leg is shattered, dude. You're like this. Okay? I'm going to get you to this, and then you're going to have to get yourself to here. Because if you and I don't do this together with your broken ass process and you worried about all the leads you got to work that you can't work, and when I tell you you have too many leads and you say, yeah, great, how can I get more? You're going to keep that busted ass ankle. You're not going to be able to stand up. You got to fix things from the ground up. First thing I do when I meet a new client, guess what? I tear apart their budget. I tear off at least 10 grand. Why? Because I'm going to prove to you you don't need it. Well, if you're going to prove that to me, I don't need any of it. No, that's not what I said. Don't be an extremist. What I said was you don't need that bulk, right? I say 10 grand. I mean more the 5 to 10% range of someone's budget. You can almost immediately chop off in today's world, especially in the gluttonous United States. It's bad there. Okay? All right, so I open it up to Q&A, and you're free to not ask anything. I get it. We're in a group environment. You may not want to do it. I will be here afterwards, so that's fun. Any questions? Man, every time, JP. Oh, yes. Question.
way of living life, doing business today. How do you educate your dealers to develop their salespeople in a world that's not reliant on them?
You have to tie it into what they're already used to, right? So as I told you with the CRM, it was something that came along that no one wanted to actually use. But now if they do use it, and they use it well, they see extreme upside. So here's what I would say, right? I would come in, what's the 30 seconds of your product? Yeah.
Oh, employment or the line.
So it's all right, don't worry.
Sales skills, personality profiling.
So you're helping with hiring? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay, so you're using technology in the hiring process.
Yes.
You want to help them understand.
Yes.
I would lead in with what you and I just talked about, which is the waste of turnover. Find out the waste of turnover metric for your area. Find out what it costs dealerships to lose people that they're too lazy to deal with or didn't identify talent in the beginning. My dealer up in Seattle, Washington, he calls me all the time, Sean, I am a terrible judge of character, ... I'm about to hire a new BDC manager. And it's every time. And we have the conversation every time. We say the same thing because we haven't gotten ourselves out of the cycle. And the cycle that exists for dealerships is same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. They don't get out of it. But they can if you come to them. You've got 20 plus years of history. I heard you say that. You've got to go back to when you were doing it and talk about the first piece of tech that hit you that you didn't know how to, I don't want to do this. I don't want to use that. For me, it's CRMs. That's how I relate everything back to these guys. My Rolodex is always helpful too. When I make a Rolodex joke, people are like, oh, I got that. That's what you've got to find. I don't think it's difficult to do that part of it. I think where they will suffer is in trying to do that down the hill to the salespeople. But if it doesn't really matter. Your particular product really doesn't matter. You are really high level, so you just got to get buy-in from people who, frankly, should already be bought in. If you're going to help them hire people, but see, what they hear when you say personality test, it's like, oh gosh, personality test. Are you serious? Like that's really going to help me find somebody? I know I've been in rooms where that's happened, where people are like, oh, what millennial invented this test? Like, who cares? Stop with the millennial shit. Like I say it myself. Doesn't matter, man. Young people, innovation, it's all the same. Let's get on board. That for you just got to remember what it was like for you when you were trying to sell something or when you were a salesperson and how you'd say, look, wouldn't you be looking for someone who thinks like this? We can identify that with our profiles. That's how you tie it back together.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
Anyone have questions? So that Honda dealership you worked with,
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious because you mentioned at the very beginning of the Foursquare. So just from what I've heard, a couple of the dealerships who have implemented, digital retailing, Roadster, Motor Commerce, will take that and they'll kind of push the Foursquare to the side and they'll have the salespeople work through that in the dealership. Is that what you saw happen at that Honda dealership?
That's what we're doing now. What we're doing now is, but we're not, you're letting it come up. Whereas before you put it on every VDP, you put banners all over the site. You were telling people, buy online, buy online, buy online. We were getting killed in gross. Getting killed. F&I manager, guess what? Anyone know how much he liked that product? Any F&I guys in here?
Hated.
Yeah, hated, right? Hated. Done with it. So that's really what it's about. So what they found was when they were in it, I mean, that thing's like a desking tool, Roadster, at some points, right? And so when you're in the tool, you're doing that deal. If the salespeople were taking that at their desk, right? I believe in, we've talked about this, I believe in a singular contact point at a dealership. I got to do this for like 6 months before my owner thought I was batty. It just ended it. But you came in, I met you, you do the whole deal. Do the whole deal. They were actually communicating via phone because that's how we had the desk set up. The guy never left the desk. All the numbers had the Foursquare, wrote it out like the boss said because the boss was working the deal. CSI went through the roof, gross went through the roof. Then we were taking it a step further to F&I and we said, wait a second, you do this, why don't you do it all? Then they found, wow, making not as great F&I grows because it's really hard to be really awesome at F&I and the desk. I find people who can do that end up being GMs. They don't stay in one spot. So the dealership, when you get into kind of the flow of how it works, I think you find that digital retail, if put in the position of, well, of course we offer that, as opposed to, look what we have. I think the difference is a lot easier to work through. So I'm not surprised people you see doing that having success because I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's funny the way that it was pitched to us is almost like you'll have more success once you get buy-in at the dealership level, not so much even the BDC or the website browsing session once everybody's on the same process learning about it.
It's all about the dealership people because Roadster does have sort of a concierge feature where if a problem does arise, you, the sales manager, can be the concierge. The problem is the people we put in charge of the concierge really don't want to do this. And it's not that they're trying to kill a car deal, but they're certainly not going all the way to make it. So yeah, it shouldn't be, to me it should be pitched as a supplement to the, let's just call it, let's just be fair, not even fair, let's be ridiculous. Let's say it's 10%, when I have any data that proves out over 5, but let's just say it's 10. The other 90 still wants to do business the same way. So don't push the other 90 into that process. They may not want to do it. Right. So make it a supplement, don't make it the way of life. And I don't even think you're 5 years away from making it a way of life. I really don't. I really don't. Thank you.
Sean, quick question.
Yeah.
From your experience, why are dealers so apprehensive on linking these two processes? You got this online digital process, you have this in dealership process, and they just they can't realize that they've actually linked together.
Yeah. So the reason, the reason for that is it goes back to what I referred to earlier with fax leads. So before, when we would get the fax leads, me and my other internet pro, we sat in the smallest office in the dealership back in the corner where no one wanted us, and we were the internet guys. We were getting different deals from the desk, so we could compete with people outside of our AOR. We were getting different trade values to steal trades from places we weren't going to go to. But guys, in 2003, I started delivering cars to their homes. Yeah. I've been doing digital retail since 2003 because it came together. Customers want it, Sean, they don't want to come to the dealership. They live in the mountains of Colorado. Okay?
Go there.
Well, we're not going to make that deal. Why aren't we? He's willing to pay our price. You're willing to make his trade. What are we doing? So it's embedded fear that if I tie those two together, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't work. But today I know that it does work. The problem with that is the definition of working is so far gone.
Well, what I see a lot of is the sales consultants on the floor don't understand how to speed up or slow down the process depending on what the customer's done online. So customers have already got themselves to certain parts.
Yeah.
And they're too almost scared to say, hey, you know what, let's not do a big presentation, let's go right to a test drive. Because you already know all this stuff.
What,
right?
and what I don't understand, I've asked 100 salespeople I met over the last couple of years that exact question. Why are you making this more difficult on you? If I had digital retail, full-blown CRM that was on my phone, and a BDC, I'd be selling 60 cars a month, sitting on my ass, making 300 grand, working by appointment only. I didn't have that when I had a chance. It wasn't for me. Today's salesperson is the laziest they've ever been, and they have the most opportunity to run their own business. Salespeople, I did a whole presentation on how you as a salesperson already own your own business and you have no headaches, no expense, and you can do whatever you want. The problem with what I just said and what you just said is the people between that and the owner, which are the desk. And that's only because the owner or GM puts the pressure down on the desk, so the desk has no other route to go than down to you. And the desk is telling you that digital retail customer comes in, you better try to repencil them. So we ain't doing that deal. What are you talking about? I got a car washed up, I got paperwork printed, but we're doing this deal, right? I had to get in a lot of arguments as an internet director with a lot of sales managers that I basically was like, cool, understand. Go to the owner, tell him you don't want to sell 10 additional units outside your AOR this month. Guess what he's going to say? You let him do whatever he wants. Our gross wasn't that bad. We gave F&I a fair crack. We set him up, we put him on the phone, we did what we could. But now the F&I products that are built in, guess what? In Roadster, you can remove it. So you can tell the customer, sorry, that part is, it's sensitive, has to be done in the dealership. There's ways around it. But then what are they doing? If they're not going to finance their own deal, then why are they in this portal? Why aren't they just on my phone or in my dealership or whatever the case is? So it goes back to a long storied history of, first of all, siloing dealerships, and second of all, just being afraid of change. It's the biggest problem.
Now they haven't really been forced to change either, right?
No, they're not being forced to change because the dealer still makes money. Yeah. So not as much, right? So the big recession, was 09, right? 09, 08. When that happened, you saw processes really start to tighten up. But in typical fat U.S. gluttonous history, we're like, cool, everything's good, let's get back to the old ways. And now we're kind of back where we were with regards to that.
Sean, what I find is like the digital retail online journey and then the sales process will come and start. That's where there's a huge disconnect, right? Like the sales process is still at the 80s base.
Yeah.
So like one thing we did is like I blew up the needs analysis. It was stupid.
Agreed.
Because 100%, like you said, 100% of the customers are going online. Drop the dumb stats. Not 92. It's 100.
Correct.
Okay, we're not going to talk about 84-year-old Mrs. Jones.
No, she's on Facebook, bro.
Right. So and it's like they've already done the needs analysis, right?
Yeah.
So part of what you do, like when you go into a dealership, do you like redefine their whole sales process?
You know what? We actually, when we started CarBiz, I thought I was going to be the next Grant Cardone, right? That's what I built this day. I'm like, dude, we're going to hire, we're going to be great. I'm going to get jets, I'm going to affirm, I'm going to go to the Bahamas, it's going to be great. Turns out that's a lot of work. I have no interest in doing it. I'm just not a 10Xer at all. I'm like 1Xer because my dad taught me to be as efficient with my time as possible. So work smarter, not harder. So my goal was to be as the big time Grant Cardone. When we started the company, my business partner looks at me. He's like, "You realize this is not scalable, right?" I'm like, "You realize you're out of your mind? I'm going to show you this and that. I got the capital, blah blah." He's right. It's all right. It's just like it came around. So we were doing a big client work up in Madison, Wisconsin. So he and I were in hotel rooms together 3-4 days a week. So I mean, like brothers, a lot of arguing, a lot of this, that. Couple cocktails, solve the world, wake up, forget how you solved it. But when we were there and he said it to me, we were like, okay, so I'm not going to be Grant Cardone. Like, oh man. Turns out I was never going to be because I don't have that level of, I guess, drive. I don't know. I guess it's fair to say the drive. I have a drive to run my business my way and do my things my way. That's why I don't work for a corporation. I worked for a corporation for 18 months. It was the worst 18 months outside of the 10 months I spent in the finance office of my life. Just was. Too many meetings about meetings about meetings. I got a podcast coming out in probably 2 weeks about meetings. I hate meetings. I think if you can't get it done in 10 minutes, get out. The biggest guys, Bezos, Musk, they don't believe in meetings. They believe in you say it, I say it, and I get out and go back to work. That's kind of how we approach it. So I said, hey, we're not going to be sales trainers. What the hell are we going to be? How are we going to do this? We put our heads together. We decided all of the vendors in the world, all the money being spent, who's looking at these people? Well, the people who were doing it were the people who were selling the marketing. So it was like marketing company A is like, yes, of course we'll tell you if your digital spend is good. In 12 months, did they ever come in and say that shit was bad? No? Okay, they're not going to, right? Car Gurus, you have them here, right? Yeah. Car Gurus? Funniest shit ever. They are going to have their own conference here in Boston, Massachusetts coming up. Do you think they're going to tell you to sign up for AutoTrader? Do you think they're going to tell you to find the cars.com rep in your area, see if he likes your product? No, they're going to come and teach you how to use Car Gurus better. It's just another vendor who wants to sell to you. So we started to realize that all vendors want to be sales process, want to be this, want to be that. I quickly realized that in order to truly affect sales process, you have to affect culture. Guess what? See point A. I have no interest in doing that. I just don't. It's too much time and effort, and it doesn't pay on the hourly side long term. So I need to find out a bigger, better way. So we basically just completely got rid of sales, because I love that part. I love sitting in dealerships taking ups. At one training I did, a sales manager challenged me. He said, oh, well, those who can't do, teach. I said, get up off your ass, next 2 ups, yours and mine, let's go. What's this now? You're here till 9 o'clock. Get off your ass, we're gonna go take ups, let's go. Never happened, because I'm not going to stand back and let people tell me how the culture is going to be run when I'm trying to affect it. So quickly I was like, dude, I'm over this culture thing. Like, I'm just not going to try and train people. I'm going to look at their data, and I'm going to train them what to see with their eye and their own data. So we decided, all vendors, all the time, we were going to create the first ever middleman who wasn't taking money from the vendors he was telling you to use, which exists in America. Some of you may know the name. I'm not here to say it. But this program, right, $3,000 a month for an ROI bot that was going to take all of your information and send you out a report. That's it? For $3,000 a month? Oh, well, you get 1 hour of time with the CEO if you bump it up to 4. Okay, boys, we got ourselves a market. Let's crush this thing. Let's do it. So we don't use technology for any of it. All the people that work for us pull data directly from all of the databases. And we put it into high technology. I mean the super highest of technology, Excel spreadsheets. And we created what we believe to be the best part about data. It's called data stacking. So when you look at 3 years worth of online data stacked on top of each other by month across years, buddy, if you're not doing it yet, you need to. You can identify things at 30,000 feet that you would have to take months to drill down on, because most of your providers are set up in 12-month increments. They don't want you remembering 12 months ago, because they want to charge you more based on what they feel has happened to your market. But if you can go into your data, Car Gurus, I'm talking to you, you come in, you ask for more prices, you say, oh, we're gonna charge you more, you're already under the market cap. Really? Did you know over the last 18 months your leads have dropped by 10%, your VDPs by 15, your cost per acquisition is up $15 fucking dollars? Now what? That is not what our data says. I don't really give a shit. Get out of my store. You're fired. So we're all about, most vendors hate my guts. That's cool. I'm not here for you. I'm not here. Did I say I was trying to make the vendor world better than when I found it? No. Which is happening by product anyways, because you can't hide. We sit in all the presentations. I see all the newest tech. I have tech fatigue. Let's call it that. It's not a hate, it's a fatigue because I sit through it every single day. And all I hear is, this here, that's going to sell you 5 more cars. If that was true, the 80 assholes behind you would have sold me 400. I wouldn't even let you sit here. Turns out none of you are right because your technology standing by itself won't get shit done. Google search bar. Would it be a thing if you didn't actually put anything into it? No. It'd be ass fucking Jeeves. But it's not. It's Google. So think about how people want to be talked with and talk with them that way. And we found that through the vendor angle, we could identify with dealers through their pocket. And we could say to them, you spend 100, watch me get this done for 70. And then over 2 years, watch me get it done for 50. And my dad would always say to me, you need to take a percentage of the bottom line. You're selling yourself short, blah, 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 charging by month. Wrong-o. You don't understand my business model, Dad. I don't want to do that continuously. I want to get people to a spot. I'm not here to advocate don't spend money. I'm here to advocate spending money far more wisely than most do it today. Stop trusting your vendors. Stop. I don't care. Sean, they're good friends. That's even worse. You know the saying in the car business down in Chicago? If you can't make money off friends and family, who the hell can we make it off of? Does that sound bad? It is. Why is that? Because we have the absolute best rapport with our family. So they're going to come in, Sean, what's the deal? The deal is this, my friend. Is it good? Love that question. You guys ever get asked that? Is this a good deal? What's anyone's reply? Is this a good deal? Hell yeah?
Of course.
Every time for me.
My mom's like, can I see the numbers?
Yeah. It's a good deal. I always say to people, is it a good deal? How do you feel? I feel good. There we go.
My mother looks.
That's what makes it a good deal. All right, I'm out of here. You're kicking me off stage. I see it. Good job. They ask questions though. Wasn't just me.
No.
No?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
Let's give it up again.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's go.
But more importantly, honestly, give it up for yourselves because without dealers and without the vendors in it, my job and the rest of our jobs don't exist. So here's the car dealers.
That was pretty cool. The reason I like Sean is because you get what you get. Like, he doesn't hold any punches.
I wonder what he's really thinking.
Yeah, I wonder is he really understanding? Yep. So as I was trying to tell Sean when he was walking off, my mom was buying a car for me a while back. She's like, "Can I see their cost report?" You mentioned about the cost report, right? Like, it's a good deal. Can you tell me how much over invoice you're buying it for? I'm like, fuck. My mom. Well, you are a salesperson. So you may have seen my video recently. I posted. I'm no longer with the company I was. We parted ways, and it was the greatest thing I've ever done. Except for my children and my wife, in case they're watching. Buying cars suck. If you haven't done it, I can tell you I haven't had to buy a car since 2002. And I've been lucky enough to have demos and cars and everything given to me as my jobs and everything else. And it's been an amazing experience until I had to try to buy a car. And I can tell you, I'm an easy sell. Take care of me, I walk in, I just want some information. Absolutely, let's sit down and you know what, if I like it, I'll buy it. I'm a big guy, I gotta sit in the car, right? Well, sit in a GTR. Fucking GTR seat's this big. It's fucking not gonna work. So I went to several dealerships and this was my experience. And I tell you this story, not to badmouth the dealership, but understand, man, there's some bad dealerships out there, right? I'm pretty, I'm not unknown. I walk into places that specifically didn't know me. Why? Because if I want a deal, let's give it back to my community. I live in Whitby. I'm going to buy from Whitby. Cool. Walk into a dealership. I had to wait 15 minutes. And I was walking around sitting in cars like, is anyone around? And all the guys are talking and handling out, that culture club in the corner and having coffee and everything else. I'm like, great. Well, I walk up to the receptionist. Hey, can you get a salesperson? Excuse me. She did one of these. Yep, okay, yes. Can I have a salesperson? Billy! And I'm like, well, I guess Billy's helping me. Billy kind of does one of these. Hey, can I help you? Yeah, I'd like to sit in one of these outside because, you know, the inside one isn't the model. Well, what are you looking for? You buying today? I don't fucking know. I haven't sat in the fucking car yet. And I'm sorry I use profanity, but man, I got a big ass. I need to sit in the damn car. Can we just sit in the car? Yeah, I'll get my lot boy. He'll help you. You're fucking kidding me. So a lot boy came out, nice kid, took me for a drive. They pulled up a car that was obviously someone's demo. 2019 with so many little kilometers, like 5,000 K on it. Cracked windshield, smelled like dirty dog, and was smoked inside. Here you go, sir. Our lot boy will go with you. And that's what we called him. Not a name, lot boy. I said, hi, lot boy. I'm JP, and you are? We went for a drive, and the guy's just sitting there like this. Like, you could tell he's just like, I said, you come here often? He's like, excuse me, how many test drives do you go on? I said, all of them. I said, what happens with this? Well, I parked the car when you get back, and you go talk to the salesperson. I just kind of want to talk to you now. So we went around, found a lot about the dealership, went back. The guy came out. What would it take to get you into this baby? Buh. Buh. I'm pretty easygoing, but I asked him, why would you bring me a car with a broken windshield? Well, it wouldn't be that one you're buying. Oh, thank Christ. If you're not giving a better experience to your customers, you're going to get me in your dealership. I went to 9 dealerships, and that was probably the mid to better one. Yeah. Yeah, I had a Chrysler dealership, went into a private sale. Walk in, the guy's sitting there. I was like, oh, private sale days, eh? He's like, yeah, I would like to see a car. Well, can I have your name? Nope. You don't need it right now. Well, I need it for the process. Oh, what kind of process is this? And then I stumped him because he didn't know what to do. And this is a dealer that cleared out their showroom, this massive mausoleum of a dealership with a good 7,000 to 8,000 square foot of empty space. And there's not one car in the showroom and 9 guys at the desk looking at me. Could someone help me, though? I would like to see it sit in the X-bound car outside because you don't have it in the showroom. Let's just use the name Billy again. Billy, is he buying a car today? Billy, I don't know. This is, if you haven't mystery shopped your dealerships, do it. Your own dealerships. Your own vendors. If you're a vendor, mystery shop your process. I guarantee you this happens. And I'm pretty, like, I went into dealerships, well, oh, you're that internet guy, you're LinkedIn guy, you're the PJ, Chris, Bob, whatever the hell your name is. Yeah, and they still give me a shitty experience. You know, really play to the passion of what you started in this business for. If you don't have it, get the fuck out. Right? Find something you're passionate about. Puppies, who cares? But if you're not selling with passion, if passion isn't your purpose, it shows. It shows. So that's what I want to talk about. Jason hates when I do this. I'm going to give him the mic because I'm going to blow Niall's ears off when I do this.
I'll just kind of hold it.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, many of my former years, I was a stand-up comedian professionally. I was a professional bass fisherman, touring pro, sold cars, trained, whatever. But I also was a bouncer at a strip club back in the 90s. And the MC or the DJ got hoarse and sick and he couldn't announce it. I'm like, oh, there's no one here to do it. This is my calling. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames and messieurs, and the millions watching at home, please welcome to the stage, with our friend Destiny, Jason Harris. Woo.
Thanks, JP. That's always awesome. Okay, guys. Hey, thanks so much for coming out. I've had a blast putting on these events this season. This is our last one this season, and we're really excited about launching the 2020 season. I'm sure you guys will all get information about that as it comes up. Cool thing, we'll actually be expanding this out to the States and in multiple provinces across Canada this next year. So we're super excited about that. Actually, you know what's almost I'm really excited about? I just saw on the side of my eye. Sometimes I go squirrel, so I apologize. I just saw on the screen up there, I saw a preview for Rambo. Did anybody know this? There's a remake? No. Like, I'm sorry. I was just Like it was like Rambo, like Last Blood or something like that. I'm like, I don't know. All of a sudden, I was getting jacked about coming up here, and then all of a sudden I saw that. I was like, I was like, I'm so excited. All right, guys, I'm gonna get this show started. I apologize for the people at home that are watching the live and can't hear the audio on this. I'm gonna try to hold it up to the monitor.
So using this equation on the upper left right here, I'm projecting that we need to win at least 99 games in order to make it to the postseason. We need to score at least 814 runs in order to win those games and allow no more than 645 runs.
What's this?
This is the code that I've written for our year-to-year projections. This is building in all the intelligence that we have to project players.
Okay.
It's about getting things down to one number. Using stats the way we read them, we'll find value in players that nobody else can see. People are overlooked for a variety of biased reasons and perceived flaws. Age, appearance, personality. Bill James and mathematics cut straight through that. Billy, of the 20,000 notable players for us to consider, I believe that there's a championship team of 25 people that we could afford, because everyone else in baseball undervalues them. Like an island of misfit toys. Billy, this is Chad Bradford. He's a relief pitcher. He's one of the most undervalued players in baseball. His defect is that he throws funny. Nobody in the big leagues cares about him because he looks funny. This guy could be not just the best pitcher in our bullpen, but one of the most effective relief pitchers in all of baseball. This guy should cost $3 million a year. We can get him for $237,000.
I think I had that exact same computer at one point in time. I'm pretty confident. If you guys don't know what this is from the amazing movie Moneyball, with the story about Billy Beane. And if you guys don't know the story of Billy Beane, I really encourage you to go out and read his story. There are several books written on it. There's Moneyball, then of course there's several stories about him and himself. Island of Misfit Toys. Like, crap. Is that like the best way to explain our entire industry? Like, I'm literally looking out at all of you guys right now and I'm thinking Island of Misfit Toys. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, okay. He's on another island. The island of very special Misfit Toys. But no, Island of Misfit Toys, that really does kind of sum up almost every single dealership I've pretty much walked into in the last 10 years of my career. And I've had a pretty cool career. You know, I've had the opportunity to, you know, start off with selling cars, work my way up into internet operations at a very early time when internet operations didn't really exist. In fact, they didn't know what to call it, so that's what they did call it. Had the opportunity to manage a very large BDC department that ran multiple stores over multiple states. By the way, I am American. Please don't hold it against me, okay? You know what's really funny? I'm doing a lot of conferences lately. And sometimes I do them here in Canada. I also do them in the States. When I'm down in the States, I'm known as the Canadian. But when I'm up here in Canada, everybody knows me as the American. So I don't know what nationality I am. I'm just the island of misfit toys in the automotive industry. I guess that's kind of pretty much where I'm from. So guys, here's what I wanted to start and talk to you guys about today is here's what we're going to learn. We're going to learn about how to develop a data-driven culture. Now, the word culture gets used a lot, right? And the word data also gets used a lot. We use data in our processes. We use data a lot when we're talking about marketing. Unfortunately, though, we don't use the word data a lot and culture in kind of the same place. And I'm telling you guys right now, what I'm seeing across the industry, I feel things are getting a little softer, not just here in Canada, the same in the US as well. But visiting as many dealerships as I get an opportunity to do so, what I've seen is consistent traits, all right? And the one thing that I find real consistent with some of the most successful dealerships in both US and in Canada is culture. So I'm always really curious when I do see this, and I swear it is a bit of a unicorn. You know, I feel you'll talk to a lot of dealerships and they think they have culture, but you know, what is the culture actually defined? And culture is defined through your team, not necessarily what you as dealer principal or general manager thoughts are, right? So, you know, how do we develop that out? And I'll tell you, with talking to so many dealerships about how they develop the culture, it seems like it was always on the backbone of a process, but it was a process that was driven by data, right? So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit about today. We're also going to talk about data-driven processes and goal development, all right? It's one thing to create the goal, it's also one thing to create the process, but if we're not creating that from the data that's in our hands, then we're just kind of let me just pull it out of thin air, and that's what we're going to go ahead and do. And then last, building a data-driven team. Now that's going to be kind of the end of this session. Honestly, it'll be the part you're going to probably want to take the most amount of notes. It's really going to be how do we create that team, how do we create that culture with the data that we have at our disposal. So, creating winning culture. By the way, for you guys who don't know, this is Mr. Billy Bean, all right? No matter how successful you are, change is always good, like always good. And in our industry right now, I'm getting the feeling from a lot of people out there that over the last few years, we've been suffering from something I call full belly syndrome. All right, anybody familiar with full belly syndrome? Okay, I know I was last night when I went out to eat all-you-can-eat sushi. That was totally full belly syndrome. No, I'm just kidding. That's not really full belly syndrome. Full belly syndrome is constantly talking about and considering ourselves of what we accomplished, how much money we made, and not necessarily asking ourselves the question, how much could we have made? How much could we have accomplished if we had taken the time to focus on that percentage of it? You know, it's still funny today, guys, that, you know, closing ratios of 30%, like, woo! And I'm like, okay, what happened with the other 70% of people that we talk to? But the way we also take that same approach when we're developing out our team. Billy leadership lessons. He's got some great leadership lessons, and here's a few that are some of my favorites. Hiring and then grooming for talent, okay? So here's what in the past you guys have always kind of done. You hired for talent, right? I mean, seriously, I watch these postings for jobs, and it's like for a car dealership, 6-figure income, lots of traffic, huge opportunity. And I'm like, what? What's going on here, right? And we're constantly looking for that superstar. Like our Island of Misfit Toys have been kind of developed off the background of a superstar culture. And when everything kind of funnels down to that superstar, we don't actually get the opportunity to develop out the team. So what Billy was really great for was hiring, but then grooming that talent, okay, developing out that individual. You know, hiring them, you know, in our industry, how we translate that over, hiring someone because of their authentic intent to want to serve someone else, not because they've sold cars before and, you know, their F&I gross is $3,000 a copy or something along that lines, right? It's hiring for that intent to serve. What supports that culture, hiring for that, little fly, and then grooming out the individual, their talents. Focus on real problems. Do you know how many times I hear like, well, what if? Like, well, what, Jason, what if we hire this person and they don't work out in 2 months? Well, what if you don't hire the person? I mean, who the hell cares, right? Well, what if we hire them and we spend all of our time in training and developing them and then they go work for somebody else? Really? That's your concern? How about your concern with more of why the hell they're going to leave? So, focusing on real problems. Billy was known for that. And then challenging the status quo. This kind of goes back again. Do you really need experience to sell cars? Or do you need the drive, the passion, the intent to want to serve someone else and to provide them an amazing experience, right? Guys, I'm telling you right now, having my own dealership, all right, some of the best people I ever hired in hired into the dealership never sold a car in their life. In fact, I remember I had this, I hired a group of people kind of all simultaneously at once, right? Started developing them out. I was like, oh man, this is great. I'm really, really digging this group of people. I told them to go rearrange the lot, right? And they went to go rearrange the lot. They're all standing around one car. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Let me go see what's going on out there. I'm standing around one car. Every single one of them didn't know what a stick was. Did not know how to drive a manual freaking transmission. I was like, oh man, what did I do? I was the only person in the dealership at the time that could test drive anybody on a manual transmission. Oh man, what did I do? But you know what though? I challenged the status quo. I looked for someone outside the automotive industry, someone who didn't necessarily have experiences, but did have experience in wanting to serve others, wait staff, bartenders, baristas. I actually hired this one lady, which was great. It actually turned out to be our controller. Worked at as a teacher at a kindergarten teacher, which made a lot of sense to me afterwards. I hired her. I'm like, okay, herding and managing little kids, car dealerships and salespeople. Shit, there's a lot of similarities here. She was great at it. She was absolutely phenomenal. Boy, did she have manager Lily written all over her, and she became a manager quite quickly. I don't know. There's almost as easy as many nosebleeds and fistfights. I don't know. He took the other half of my commission. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, you guys got my point there. And then really, focusing on what actually moves the needle, right? Not necessarily. And Billy was great at this. Billy was phenomenal at focusing on the efforts, not always the results. Knowing that those efforts were going to bring the results that he wanted in the first place, but really spending that time and honing in on each individual person's efforts and developing those efforts, training those efforts, and coaching those efforts. Leaders don't take credit. If you guys ever watched the movie, you'll see Billy doesn't actually stay on the field when the ball games are playing, all right? He trained the team, he developed the team, and he stayed back behind to let the team do what they were trained and coached and developed to do, right? When the team was being uber successful during that great season that they had, it wasn't Billy taking the responsibility for it, even though everybody in the industry wanted to give Billy the responsibility for it. It was the team. It was always, always, always about the team. Not an individual, but the team and that effort. Again, developing out that culture. All right, I always like to think this when I go into a dealership. I go WWBD. Now, there's a bunch of other acronyms for that or versions of that, and someone shared me a few of those. Maybe I shouldn't have put it up there. But anyways, this is what it does mean. What would Billy do, okay? Which culture would Billy run, all right? The superstar culture or the science-driven team culture, okay? In a superstar culture, all right, our process, our technology, our enablement, our skills are all defined by our superstars. Okay, I seriously had a meeting like a few weeks ago. This was so awesome. We go in there a couple months earlier. We'd help the dealership roll out a brand new CRM system, right? CRM company came in, did their training, did their coaching, and then they asked me to come in and kind of help out a little bit more with the management to kind of really understand the WIFM effect. Is anybody familiar with the WIFM effect? All right, what's in it for me? I find from a vendor's perspective, by the way, hey guys, this is great input for you vendors, is that we do a really good job of training and coaching on our product, but we don't necessarily do a great job of identifying what's in it for that person. So I'd come in and I did this for them. And then I'd come back a few weeks later, just kind of check in and realize that the usage of the system was pretty much non-existent. So when I come to ask why, it was because, well, John and Jackie don't want to use it. Who the fuck is John and Jackie? It's like, I wanted to know. I was like, I thought this was a single owned point. Like, what do you, is there other owners? Maybe I wasn't aware, right? No, I come to find out, who do you think John and Jackie was? Damn straight. It was their two top salespeople, and a coup was going on. I'm like, oh, hell no, this ain't going to happen. All right, I took John and Jackie from the side, and I whiff them the crap out of them. I know that sounds odd, but no, I did. I really kind of sat down with them, developed out, say, guys, this is what's in it for you. All right, and by the end of that meeting, I got a commitment from them that they were going to commit to using the thing, and then we scheduled out an accountability schedule, which allowed me to kind of call them and just really, check in with them and then call them out on their bullshit when they weren't actually using the system. So, that's not what we want. We don't want our systems, our technology, our skills, our processes to be defined by our superstars. No, we want our processes, our technologies, our enablement and skills to be all built up to the team. So we gotta get away from the superstar culture. Plus, the other thing too, guys, the superstar culture don't exist anymore. Yes, they are painful. And they're pains in the ass, we'll just say that. No, but guys, finding a 30-car a month salesperson anymore, it's not really around there anymore. And when you do, it doesn't necessarily match into your team. They just become another superstar within your organization. And this is true not in just automotive. I mean, this is true in all organizations across the board.
The basketball.
Oh yeah, 100%, right? It's all, you know what, when we're building our processes and our efforts up to our team, that's where we're actually going to see the most amount of success. Plus, the other thing too is this is what's going to define out that culture. Okay, but we want to do this through data, okay? So this is a great little exercise. Actually snapped this off of a buddy of mine, Dan Liska, if he's watching. Thanks, Dan. Peace out. I love you. But he really kind of broke it down of how does your company or you yourself kind of look or approach data, right? Are you in data denial, all right, where the organization starts with an active distrust of the data? I was in a dealership the other day speaking to a manager, came right out of her mouth. Well, I just don't think it's accurate. It's not right. There's just no way we're that bad. So therefore, everything else in the system has to be absolutely wrong. Okay? Is it data indifference? Your dealership has no interest in whether the data is collected or used. Big chunk of dealerships are kind of sitting in this space. Okay? They just don't care. Okay? Are we data aware? I'm finding more and more of this, and I'm really happy with the fact that I'm seeing more and more of this, is that the dealership is collecting data and may use it for monitoring, all right, but does not base decisions on it, okay? So, I'll get some managers say, hey, look, I'm using it to kind of monitor my team to determine how loud or how quiet I yell at them. So I'm going to use the data for that, but I'm not necessarily going to use that data to make decisions and develop out better processes. All right, are we data informed? Managers use data selectively to aid decision making. Selectively using data. I'm going to use, I like, and Sean was talking about this earlier, how data can tell pretty much any story, right? Like we can make data pretty much tell any story that we want. Well, I like this story. No, I don't like that story. I'm not going to use that data. This story, I look like a superstar in that story. I'm going to take that story. All right, that's where we kind of are with data informed. Data driven, that's where we want to be. Data plays a central role in as many decisions as possible across our entire organization. Okay, across all departments, data plays a big part in that. Okay. First part of creating a data-driven culture is understanding where the hell you are. So, you can ask yourselves, automotive, non-automotive, ask yourselves, or even as yourself or as a team, where am I sitting right now? This will kind of give you a roadmap to where eventually you want to go. Okay. Now let's talk about data-driven processes and goal development, which is like one of my favorite things. In fact, it's funny, I run a marketing company. A lot of people don't actually know that. I guess because the content I put out there, actually, they go, don't you just like talk and shit? I'm like, yeah, I do that too. But no, that is what we do, okay? The funny part of running a marketing company is that I actually probably spend 70% of my time discussing goal development and processes, and probably only 30% of my time ever talking about marketing, right? If you guys are currently working with a marketing vendor, if your marketing vendor does not truly understand what your processes are or what your goals are, then I'll guarantee you right now, hands down, I don't need to take a look at any data at this point, then they're just not meeting your guys' needs. And those campaigns or ads that they're running is not going to be in line. Every agency you work with has to know what your process is and clearly has to know what your guys' goals and objectives are. Okay, a goal. Think of it this way, guys. A goal is a description of a destination, all right? I'm here, I want to get over there, okay? Really pretty simple. Well, you think it'd be simple. You'd be amazed how many dealerships I walk into. It's a simple question. Hey guys, what's the goal? Well, you know, it's this and this and it's that. And it's, okay, that's cool, man. Like, so where is it? What do you mean? All right. Goals don't exist unless they're defined, written down, and out in the open for everyone to see. Okay? Neither do processes, by the way. But if the goal is not written down and out in the open, it simply does not exist. All right. A process is the measurable efforts of the progress that is needed to get to the destination. Okay? I say measurable. We talk a lot about processes, the importance of process. Okay? The one thing that doesn't get talked a lot about in processes is the measurable elements of it. All right? Processes need to have two important things. All right? A process has to be defined and written down. I was in a dealership the other day, and I was casually asking the sales manager, I said, what's your delivery process? He's like, oh, let me tell you. And he went through and depicted this beautiful, beautiful delivery process. I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like, you guys do this like all the time? Yeah, all the time. Okay, that's cool. He had to take a phone call. I excused myself, so I'm standing out in the showroom talking to some of the salespeople. I said, hey, man, your manager was just telling me about this sick-ass delivery process. And he was like, and I'm like, yeah, you guys do this and this and this. And the guy goes, no, we don't. Like, what do you mean? Well, what do you do? One guy tells me. That's one of the other ladies that are there. What do you do? She tells me. I grab one of the, I said, at this point now, this is just getting weird. I go ahead and grab a third person just to check. Sure enough, yeah, I got 3 totally different variations of what this manager thought this amazing delivery process was. Okay? If that process is not written down, it doesn't exist. If the goal is not written down, it doesn't exist. Straight up, that simple. Okay? That process needs to be written down and needs to have measurable elements. Okay? We have to measure the effectiveness of the process. Otherwise, if we're ever going to adjust the process or make it any better for ourselves, then we're just going to be wild-ass guessing on what we should do. Again, using the data that's at our fingertips to identify if our process is right. So I owned a Mitsubishi dealership. Some of you guys know that, some of you don't, all right? So I owned a Mitsubishi dealership, all right? Not like the biggest household name in like the car industry, you know? I mean, they were kind of known for like having like 10-year warranties and, you know, the Lancer, which hasn't really changed in like 16 years, you know? So I'm not saying like the best, like the easiest freaking brand in the world to sell, okay? But I knew, all right, based on the size of the store that I had, all right, and the amount of people that were coming in looking for a Mitsubishi, not a lot, in Cambridge, Ontario, okay, I had to close at 40 to 45%. Like, it straight up was not even an option, all right? Anything under that, I wasn't going to make any money, okay? So developing out my processes and being able to measure the effectiveness of those processes gave me the ability to alter and pivot and change, flip around, totally throw away, restart, okay, so that I could get to that destination, okay? Processes have to be written down, have to be measurable. Don't worry, it's going to work. Trust me. All right. The sweet spot. Okay? This works because we're here, right? You know, a batter gets less than half a second to decide where the sweet spot is going to be when a baseball is coming down at them. Actually, I think it's even less. Is it less than half a second? It is, right? Yeah. There's not a hell of a lot of time to decide. So the amount of preparation that goes into it is astronomical. And it's not something as simple as picking up the bat and let's swing it. So you guys all saw the window that's crashed over here, right? The same batter hit the window in July, okay? Came back in August for another game, hit the exact same frickin' window. 2 months apart. Can you imagine how much time that was spent developing out his sweet spot, his process, to the point where his results were so insanely consistent that he can hit the exact same window from, God, I don't know, how far away are we?
425.
Okay, 425. That's a. I think that came out about. But I'll go with it. 425 feet, man. That's some serious consistency there. Okay, knees should be slightly bent. Feet should be shoulder width apart. All right, shoulders facing the pitcher. Hips and shoulders need to be squared up. Tip of the bat's got to be pointing at least 25 to 35 degrees. Okay, all of these things are going through this person's mind in half a second. Okay, the only way that these guys are able to do what they do is because that process is clearly defined and the measurables are clearly defined. And they continue to use that data to better themselves and to better the team. It's going to come. Here we go. There we go. Measurable results. OBP. Anybody know what that means? On base percentage. All right. The one thing I do love about professional sports, and Billy was really great at it as well, is they focus on the efforts, knowing that if I focus on the efforts, the results are going to come. Okay? Do they measure the amount of runs in a game? Absolutely. But the number that is constantly monitored and pretty much determined if you're a good player or not is this number right here. Your on-base percentage. All right? Is the efforts that go into getting those runs that they define to be more important than the run itself. But for some reason in the industry, we got this like all backwards. Like I'm more concerned about how many deals I'm going to close, not necessarily the efforts my team have put into it. Okay? Now, I mean, even if it's something simple as just a service walk around. Okay? I got a 5-point service walk around. Okay? I love service walk arounds, by the way, guys. Like, I mean, honestly, they're probably one of the most important parts, in a business. You want to talk about creating retention, maintaining that customer, all right, yeah. Building out opportunities and trust, to further sell or take care of the customer's needs. It all starts right there at that walk around, right? And there's 5 points to it. Well, what we're doing is we're measuring if the service advisor just did a walk around. Oh, you did a walk around. Pat on the back. You did a good job. We didn't measure the 5 points that are required to get a good walk around. All right? Customer's doing a test drive. Okay? Congratulations, you took your customer on a test drive. Yay! We're excited. That's the results. Okay? We have to define out what are the 6 or 7 things, all right, that's going to, oh gosh, I'm looking at my time. Sorry. The 6 or 7 things that are going to make up what that test drive is going to look like for us, right? And then when we do that, we actually have to measure this shit. By the way, it's an Excel sheet. You're going to love it. Isn't that pretty? It's got colors. It's seriously high tech, right? I know, man. You got to watch out for this stuff. And I put colors on it too. You put colors on yours?
Red, green, yeah.
Isn't that best?
What I think it means?
Yeah. I think so, yeah. Yeah, and then this is like you're kind of in between. You should be concerned about. Yeah.
Spreadsheets go good by itself.
Spreadsheets are great, guys. But no, seriously, guys, measurable efforts, okay? Building a data-driven team. Okay, I love this part. Now, building a data-driven team, everyone assumes it starts with the team. Not actually true at all. It starts with the recruitment. Okay, we got to change the way we're recruiting people. All right, these ads that are out there, 6-figure income, huge opportunities, lots of traffic, it's a bunch of bullshit. Okay? All right, what people are looking for right now to be a part of the team, culture is the new currency. Okay? They want to know what your culture is. Do you have a culture? Have we defined the culture? All right? I need to know, before I even reply to that job posting, is that what am I getting myself into? What kind of team am I walking into? Right? If you follow sports, all right, you have a favorite team, or maybe multiple favorite teams. And one of the things you love about the team is the culture. Like you really want to be a part of that. You want to own that culture. That needs to be defined way before we even hire them, okay? Then hire. Talk is cheap, okay? Action is everything, okay? We want to not only meet expectations when we hire someone, but we need to exceed their expectations, okay? You need to have, again, a defined, what does defined mean? Written down, all right, process of when we hire someone on, what does the first day look like? What does the second day look like? What does that second week look like?
They finally get their laptop.
Yeah, like, you know, I mean, I started in the industry. It was like, here's the keys, and there's some brochures, and go sell some cars. All right. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, would you mind cleaning the desk out from the guy that's no longer with us before? You know, you scrummage through and find, oh, my God, this guy worked like 3 weeks. Okay. Action, all right? You need to have an onboarding plan, okay? You bring these people in, everything needs to be structured out. You know, when is this person, all the way down to the car jockey, all right? Everyone needs to spend time in each department. In fact, I love having manager lunches, all right, where all the new hires, all right, throughout the first month that they're brought in, goes and has an off-site lunch with each manager. All right, you want to know a quick way to actually really buy into the culture. Those managers should really be the ones that can define that out the best. Okay, train. Just an ounce of prevention. Okay. I'm still amazed that we're skipping this part entirely, all right? Training. We got to train these guys, not just on the activities, but what does it mean to sell a car here? Okay? It's not just the 10 steps to the sell. No, no, no. It's the 10 steps to the sell at ABC Motors. How do you guys define it, all right? It's not necessarily about how you guys do it, but why you guys do it. That culture is what the new hires are looking for. And then we got a coach. Holy crap, guys, we got a coach. You know, like, I'll tell you, this right now is probably one of the biggest reasons we have revolving doors. I fucking hate that, by the way. You know, someone told, I was telling somebody the other day, I was going up to a dealership up in the north, they're like, yeah, they got like a revolving door up there. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, why? Like, is it got to the point now where there are certain dealerships actually are known as just having revolving doors? I'll tell you why they have revolving doors, because they spend no freaking time coaching their team. All right? Again, goes all the way back to my culture. All right? I want to be trained on the activities, absolutely, but I need to be coached. I need to be coached as an individual. And then we need to repeat. Okay? It's recruit, hire, train, coach, repeat. This is the constant cycle that we always need to be ourselves in. By the way, this never turns off. Okay? You're never going to stop doing this. Okay? I had a dealership the other day, tell me, and they started doing this, like, Jason, we've been doing this, but like, I'm almost like a little top heavy. I got like too many. I said, well, call a guy down the street. Yeah, but he's my competitor. Okay, fine, call his competitor. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, if you guys are doing this and you guys are developing out great people, all right, you're going to continue, and you're always, always, always going to have your pick of the litter. Okay. One thing I'm going to add to this, and it wasn't up there when I did the slide, but I think it's so important, is personal growth plans. Okay, I actually think it needs to be a part of the in-between here, the training and coaching. Like, we do a good job of telling new hires that we come on board, like, here's what we're going to do, man. We're going to sell like 1,000 cars this year. And you're going to be like responsible for 200 of them. What the fuck does that mean? Right? Okay. We love to tell them, all right, what our growth plan is. Do you know how many dealerships I've sat in and asked them? I'm like, hey, you know, John downstairs, man, the guy's like super positive. He seems really pumped. Like, why? Like, what's his why? You know, what are you guys doing with him? Like, I'll be honest with you. You know, you got to keep this up. You don't have a plan for him? Which direction are you taking him? Are you rooming him for management? No. The guy's great at sales. What? But has anybody actually talked to him, like, what the hell he wants? All right? Having and sitting down and developing out a personal growth plan, all right, with each of your new hires is going to be so insanely ROI positive, okay? I did this as just kind of a practice with one of our clients. Sat down, one guy just straight up told me, he goes, look, man, I'm just trying to save money so that I can get out of my mom's basement. I was like, shit, that's cool. Let's sit down and create a personal growth plan of how we're going to get there. All right? Here's how many cars it's going to take. What's that apartment cost? I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to get like a basement apartment, like $650 a month. Okay. First thing, you got to stop drinking Starbucks. Okay. Then we got to move into it, all right? But no, seriously, by the time I was done, this guy walked out like he had a suit of shining armor on. He was like going to fucking go out there and just like, I swear he was going to like just kick the door open. It was like, I'm here to sell cars and I'm moving out of my mom's basement.
Let's move the metal.
Yeah. Like, he was jacked.
But Jason, you listened to someone. You gave an opportunity for him to say something to you.
Exactly. I'm using his data. Not just my data, I'm using his data.
You listen.
That's right. Creating that data-driven culture. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get a little more into recruiting. All right, we already kind of talked about this. Culture is that new currency. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. This is what people want to buy into, not a six-figure income. They want to know when they come to work that there's something there for them. There's a purpose. All right? That collectively as a team, we're all working together towards an ultimate goal and objective. All right? And they want to know not just how they sell cars, they want to know why the hell they're selling cars the way they're selling cars. Staff referrals. If your company or your dealership does not have a staff referral program, you guys are wasting some serious time. All right, you got to have a staff referral program. What's that old saying? Like birds flock together or something? JP, you know a bunch of sayings. What is it? I don't know, something like that. Anyways. What is it? Thank you. Birds of a feather flock together, okay? You guys are going to spend time developing this culture. You're going to spend time utilizing your data to develop out this team. Guess what? Those people know. They probably know some other really great people that would match into your guys' existing culture. You got to have a staff referral program. All right, cutting the talent pool excuse. Oh my God, I hear this like all the frickin' time. But Jay, man, there's like nobody out there. Like, what do you mean nobody? My kids do this, and it really kind of drives me absolutely nuts. Like they talk in like definitive terms. Like, you always do this. I'm like, do I always do it? Like, do I really? You know, I hear this one literally all the time. There's nobody out there. I can go open the door. I'm like, shit, man, where'd everybody go? It's like the zombie apocalypse out here. You're right. There's nobody here. All right, got to cut that excuse right out of the gate, guys. There's tons of opportunities out there, but and what we talked about earlier is that we got to stop hiring for talent. All right, we got to start hiring for intent to serve and then groom that talent. All right, always be recruiting. Again, we talked about this a little earlier. Okay, this whole process, this whole thought pattern, this is not something that starts and ends. This is something that you literally do all the time. It's a commitment. All right, hire. Explore cultural fit and attitude. Okay, you got to sit down with these people. I don't care if they can sell 20 cars a month. If they don't fit your culture, who gives a shit? The exact same thing down there happens. Okay, why do you think mid-season they start trading players? Okay, I guarantee you a lot of those trades are because culturally they don't fit. Who was the guy that was playing for the Raiders and now he's getting traded to somebody else? Brown. Thank you. Watch that video. That guy flipped the fuck out when he found out he was getting traded. He clearly was not into the culture that was at that place. All right? It wasn't necessarily about the money. From my understanding, the guy lost actually a good chunk of money. All right? What he was looking for that right team, that right fit, that right culture. Okay, yeah, well, that might be true too. Again, assess skills and team fit, okay? So explore for cultural fit and attitude, but we need to assess their skills and team fit. All right, clear expectations for defined future, okay? Again, this goes all the way back to the very beginning when it comes to hiring, all right? Asking, not why do they want to come work here, but what is their ultimate goal and objective? What do they want to do? What do they want to do 10 years from now? I had one kid the other day tell me that, I want to own my own dealership. I said, that's cool. You got about an hour? I'm going to try to go through this. Actually, maybe about 6 hours. I'll probably take that too. But let me try to, and I did. I kind of mapped it out for him of all the things that I've done and other people that I've known that have done to get to that stage where I had the opportunity. And, I saw as we were kind of going through it, maybe the excitement started to diminish a little bit. But then by the time towards the end, he started nodding his head and goes, yeah, I can fucking do that. Yeah, I can do that, but we had a nice, clear, defined path or at least a direction that you can start heading in towards. All right, under promise, over deliver. All right, that's what you do when you hire. Okay, you don't tell them you're making a 6-figure income. Okay, you tell them straight up, you're going to be lucky if you make minimum wage. Okay, you're going to be lucky when you make minimum wage. Okay. Under promise the crap out of this, guys. You don't want them coming. Like seriously, do you really want someone to come in to your team, all right, because they think they're going to make 6 figures? I tell you, I've seen this happen. New people come in, and you know what they do the first month? They take like 200 clients and sell like 10 cars. All right, they're like ping-ponging all over the dealership and outside, and they're just like from client to client to client to client. Who's going to buy a car? Who's going to buy a car? Who's going to buy a car? Sucks for you guys' culture. Sucks for your team. All right, train. Train is 60%, but we got to grow the rest. Okay. Everyone always assumes that we got to train our staff to do every little single thing. You're going to pick the phone up with your right hand, okay? With the left index finger, you're going to press this number and then the, come on, guys, okay? Yeah, you laugh, but I'm serious. I've been in these meetings. I'm like, are you seriously telling them how to open up a brochure right now? Like, okay. No, we got to train to 60%, and then we need to let some self-exploitation happen here, and then we need to grow the rest of that. That's that coaching element, okay? Document the process. Guys, this is a great thing for you, okay? Use video to document your process, okay? Excuse me. All right, if you're going to be training, you're spending all this time training, you're going to spend all this time developing out a new team, okay? Again, remember it's repeat. You're on repeat mode every time, okay? This is going to get exhausting after a while, okay? Take the time for your delivery, all right, for your training and your coaching. Document the shit out of it, okay, so that as you start to create this machine, as people start to come through, all right, you have a process, you have some assets that they can continue to go back to, that you can continue to use and actually better those those processes. I know, guys, I'm going a little fast just because I'm watching at the time right now. Quiz for digestion. Okay, guys, there are some really cool apps out there. In fact, I was trying to think about the name before I came up here. I totally spaced it. But I will let everybody, when I send this deck, I will send it to you. There's a great website out there. I think it's like $30 a month. There's one, yeah, that's one. And it allows you to develop out your own internal quiz, all right? It's an online thing. It's great. You know, and it's just, you can go in there and you say, okay, guys, like, okay, I taught you now how to do a proper payment presentation, okay? Now I just want you to go take this quiz, right? We got to test, all right, if the information we give them, has it actually set in, has it been received, okay? There's some great products out there. Definitely encourage you guys to take a look at some online quiz digestion. I'm going to pull it up for you. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but the one it was, look, Kahoots, right? Yes, yeah. There's some great. There's a bunch of them out there, but it's definitely worth looking into. All right, and then create consistent efforts. Again, this is all going back to how we're going to make our training efforts better if we're not consistent in it, and we're not documenting our training efforts. Going back to our process of video, and if we're not measuring the results of our efforts with quizzing or some type of online questionnaire type program. All right, coach. Guys, I love coaching. Seriously, I mean, if you take one damn thing away from this entire presentation, all right, that's going to bring your business or your dealership like actual real ROI, get fucking serious about coaching your team. Like, get serious about it, man. It will change. You will literally see it in black and white ink on the bottom line when you start properly coaching your team. All right. Here's the thing. Never stop not doing it. Okay. Do you know how many bloody freaking excuses I get? The most common. Oh, Jay, I don't got time. I don't got time. You don't have time to coach. But by not coaching, it's actually creating more time and work for you in the first place. Like, this just sounds like a god-awful, like, Groundhog's Day kind of a thing going on, right? Okay. Stop not doing it. All right. Data helps. You need to embrace it, okay? If we're going to coach on somebody's efforts, when they're coaching on someone's efforts down there, okay? And literally, guys, this is the one thing I love about baseball, right? Is that, and you guys are going to see it tonight. It's amazing. You get to watch the strategy and all the coaching go into play in real time. All right? A certain batter comes up, hits to the plate. the entire infield, outfield all start to move around. Accordingly, because they're anticipating that hitter's move, all right? It all came through coaching. That is like a ballet. It all came from that. You got to embrace that data. You're going to be trials. There's going to be errors, all right? But if you continue to embrace the data, you're going to create a better process. All right. Coaching is an opportunity for a pulse check. And for me, this really has to do, again, with your guys' team, personal growth patterns. Like, I mean, this is my opportunity when I do my coaching to also check in with that guy and say, hey, man, how's it going? Are you out of your mom's apartment yet? No, I'm not. Okay, that's cool, because I still see you coming in with those pumpkin spice latte ventis that are costing like $10 a pop. So it gives me that opportunity to continue to coach you individual. So it's an opportunity for a pulse check. Okay. Job performance versus personal worth. Okay. This has so much to do with coaching. Okay. Your job performance is not your personal worth. But when we don't coach someone, this is how they feel. Okay? Do you know how many managers, salespeople I have seen get into this business with nothing but a light in their soul and a happiness to be there? And I go back 2 months later, they look like me. A little overweight, lost all their hair,
Very attractive.
smoking 6 packs of cigarettes a day. And just sounds like crap, right? Without coaching your team and only training and only focusing on the results, all right, I don't care who the person is out there, they're going to assume that their job performance is their personal worth, and it ain't. All right? Big opportunity when you're doing your coaching. Lastly, guys, your super team. Comes back down to it. Guys, we're all going to do this together. You guys ready? Let's do it together. Recruit, hire, train, coach, repeat. Thank you guys so much. That's my time.
Awesome job, by the way. You're an attractive man.
I try.
What's going to happen now? First of all, I wanted to I'm truly honored to have been part of this for the last, this year, 5 events. And Jason, Digital Dealership Solutions, strategy with Jason, Niall, and the whole crew. I want to give everyone, just give them a whole huge round of applause. This is a hell of a lot of effort. And can everyone agree? This is a fucking awesome venue. We're going to watch the game. So what's going to happen now? It's really cool. We break. We're going to go out into, don't hang around the restaurant, go to the bar or the lounge.
We will do some Q&A, but yeah, go ahead.
We're going to actually reorganize this for dinner and for the Blue Jays game. So all the chairs and tables will be in viewing mode when we come back in. But to start, anyone have any questions about recruiting, hiring, any ideas you want to share with Jason?
Well, and before, I just want to point one thing out real quick, because Sean's back in the room now. So this is how you actually spell it, Sean. So I saw on your deck you had this Q and this letter A, but in Canada this is how we roll. So that's how we do it.
2 things. First and foremost, Rambo comes out September 20th.
Yes.
Rambo with a walker.
Yes.
Dude, I find it, going into dealers a lot, you hear that comment of, we can't replace these people, it's all we have. And it's often, they say, we can't find the people typically because the culture in the dealership isn't one that people want to work at. So it's like this vicious, we can't hire anybody. Maybe that's because people don't want to work here. Maybe it's change the culture.
Pretty straightforward, right? It's like we love to identify our problem. We just really don't want to solve it. And that is actually, and that's a great way to start off, is that when you are developing out your business culture, all right, a good hard look in the mirror is kind of what you need sometimes. And a great place to start is not only to identify how you do business, but the why. And the why is a really important one, right? And it's your why. Okay, look, why do you service a car that way? I understand you got to service it. You got to change the oil and do the filter and everything else. I understand that, okay? But why do you do it the way you do it? All right? I understand that, we got to call customers back and we have to maintain a relationship with them. But again, all right, I understand how you do it, but why do you do it the way you do it? All right? when you're able to look at yourself in the mirror and start asking those questions, you're going to quickly find what your why is, and then reverse engineer that to start developing a culture that's heading towards that why. That's a great question, man. Thanks.
Anyone else?
Jason, is LinkedIn effective yet for dealerships to use, or at least, and also brand yourself as a culture on LinkedIn in order to get pull-in employees?
Oh yeah, for sure. Again, that also kind of goes down to that video part. Once you really kind of do have that defined culture, being able to document that culture and put that culture out there on social media and LinkedIn. LinkedIn's great. I mean, the amount of people in the automotive industry actively using LinkedIn on a regular basis, both professionally and yeah, I mean, it's huge, right? So, and hence the reason why you'll see me there 10 times a day. Kim is, I think so. I might be. I mean, maybe.
And all of my recruiting. Remember, 85% of hires come from networking. So
Yeah.
I didn't have any strategy to hire people as a dealer, being in charge of dealer groups, in charge of 1,800 employees, except for LinkedIn and social media, and it was free.
Yeah, that culture. The cool thing is not only the culture really gets effective inside the dealership, but it supports your marketing efforts, it supports your hiring efforts. I mean, it goes so far. Another question.
Yeah, just to answer that, I think, if your salespeople or your dealership in general aren't branding themselves online via social media, you're missing the boat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, how do you show the alignment with what you're saying if your online presence is completely different? Oh, we're doing this. You're not doing that at all. So you have to make sure that you're in line and make sure that every message you have is the recruiting side.
The problem is sales consultants are too busy to do any of that stuff.
Yeah, we don't have the time.
We don't have the time.
We don't have the time. We don't have the time. We want the results, but we don't have the time.
And that's what I never understood. What was the time thing, right? You sell 30 cars in a month, then you're just selling a car a day. It takes you 2 hours to sell a car. What in the are you doing?
And the rest of your day.
Prospecting. I'm calling. No. Customer experience, Sean.
Like Matt Canning always says, liking all of your car guy buddy posts on Facebook ain't doing shit.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody more likes. It's get out and develop the community. That's why the social media part is so great now, because it's so localized. Like, if you want to connect with people around you, do it with the nearby, all that nonsense that exists.
Yeah.
Do it.
But they like me, Sean. I'm real when they like me.
But the key word is to connect. Like, I mean, guys, let's say as an industry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's huge.
There's two completely different trains of thought on people hiring a dealership.
Oh, the volunteer work, absolutely.
Right, it's completely acceptable for a sales guy to hang around a car and look at his phone. But if you have that AR clerk upstairs come down and do the same thing, they come in at 9 o'clock, they have a 15-minute break, they have their hour lunch, they go home at 5 o'clock.
That's true. It's totally acceptable.
Smoke break.
The 15 ones of those.
But if these guys come in at 9, 3 to 9, whatever, they can do what they want.
100%.
Because the culture's about it.
Well, that's the thing. Without a defined culture, that's really kind of the base.
That's the other problem. We don't pay plans. We pay them on gross. So we don't.
Oh, dude, we could do a whole session on. We could do a whole session on pay plans fucked up our industry. Yeah, that's good. That's totally going to be a 2020 session. I guarantee it.
Who else has questions for Jason before we break for the reposition of dinner? Okay, well here's.
Sorry, what I wanted to also say on the LinkedIn part, okay, is it's a really, if it's used right, not like Facebook.
Yeah.
Right. So when I see the automotive salespeople using it like, oh, this is the deal of the week. It's like no one gives a shit about the platform. As a business, okay, it's an incredible opportunity to let people have an inside look at your business. You want to talk about culture? Okay, so we were having a really hard time getting even applicants for developers in Ottawa. Okay, it was fucking hard. We got Amazon there now. We got Shopify. They hire everyone. So we couldn't even get a damn applicant. We spent $1,400 on LinkedIn, got jack shit. True story. You know what we did? We shot a little office video. If you guys go to Car Loans Canada's LinkedIn page, you can see it. You know the show The Office? We actually shot our own little stupid comedy office thing. We got 15 high-quality applicants from that. People saying, looks like a really fun place to work. We'd really love to connect with you because we let people see the inside. We document a little bit of what we do. We're a little goofy, crazy. They saw that,
Just
they
a
felt
little.
it. They felt something, they wanted to connect, right? So
Well, that's actually being social. So, I mean, this is the funny thing. You know, when I first started in this industry, there was this big thing of the 80-20 rule, right? You let the customer talk 80%, you only talk 20%. But for some odd reason, you know, we've all been taught that for years. What was it? What was that?
I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But for some reason on social media, it is the other way around. Is that we talk 80% and we don't actually let the customer talk to us. So, our engagement needs to be there. We need to be engaging 80% of the time and then talking the 20% of the time.
The other problem I see is that sales consultants are always trained and coached to sell. And with social media, you're not selling, you're informing.
Yep.
So you have to change your mindset and say, you're not out there selling. I don't even want you to talk about selling a car. All I want you to do is just inform the client about interesting stuff. And sometimes don't even talk about cars. Talk about other stuff.
Well,
just brand
it's
yourself.
not about the sale, right? It's what are you selling? What are you selling? We put a new office together. It was hardly anything of a photo of my team in the office. That organic post got basically 10 times the viewing anything I pay for does.
Yeah.
They're like nasty little office, and here's the new guys, the killers, and all of a sudden, the personal side of it, you let people in. We were just having this conversation, going, how does it work? And I see a bunch of good dealerships, and my top guys got shoes polished today at their dealership, where we took them out for suits, and it's that sort of content that just kills. Because we all look at it, we're like, well, that's kind of cool. I'm watching this video.
I want to work there. That sounds like fun.
Order a meeting. I'm like,
And if for recruiters and if you're hiring people, the one thing you have to do, and I love this because I've gone through this recently, is thank you so much for your application. We receive so many applications. You will get back to only do not call us, we'll call you. I challenge you, and I challenge you hard. Contact every single person who submits an application with a personal little note. Just say, thanks a lot, we really appreciate it, we'll get back to you. Let us know if you have any questions. Why? Because they refer you. I was hiring for 12 dealers on almost every position. I was getting 1,100 applicants a month. And I sent little notes. I didn't hire a lot of those people, but I got a lot of, hey, sent me out, really? And then they apply. Challenge yourself to send a little note to every single applicant, even if they're shit. Because that person deserves it. And that person will refer you. Hey, I got a response back. And he's talking to his buddy who isn't shit. And he'll apply.
And could be your boss one day.
That's true. Hey guys, this has been a really great group, and I know the conversation is going to continue. I see the staff. I see the hotel staff in the back going, "Oh, we got to set up this room." So guys, feel free, get up, get a drink. You can take your drinks out to the lobby area. That's totally cool. We'll let them reset the room. Then we're going to come back in here and have some dinner and watch some baseball.